Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Talk to my people. I'm a sound. Miss D, I'm a sound. I can't hear now. I can't hear me either, I guess. Oh, Missy Bram Bram say, Missy, big up yourself. Okay, all right. Well, they are waiting now. Sorry for the delay. You know it go already. Just like a technical glitch. While waiting now for get back, Pastor Ricky and Marvin. So when I can't hear the music, I don't know if I... Oh wait, hold on. No. Yeah, me just turn it on. Them say them can't hear the music. Yeah, remember I said me can't do that. Let me say it again. Okay. Marvin. All right, better. Yeah. Yes, my people. Yes, my people. We're a few minutes late, but that is to be expected because me at the control and the algorithm are buff-handed. So and Kevin busy, and had it not been for Kevin and producer Joan and producer OT, would have still await right now. But anyway, we're here. Yeah, Edlin, this 20-minute break thing is at first. Yes, Edlin. Yeah. We'll just take a little break, kind of cut it and come back and give people a chance to kind of like refresh and stretch, including me. So, all right. Well, folks, listen, we have so much to say, and we're going to go. Kevin decided to give us his time, so we're going to go over. But what we need to do is we'll take it one step at a time. We're not going to plan too far ahead. What we're doing now is we're going to bring on Marvin. Marvin going to talk to us about crypto and going to give us his story and talk to us about give us an overview of crypto and where it's going, who would be a good investor, who wouldn't be a good investor, how much you should invest, all of the questions you wanted to ask about crypto. The man is here. So you know him, you love him, and without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Marvin Edgar. Come in, Marvin.
All right. Thank you again, Rattigan, to your lovely guests. I want to say a special hello to you. Thank you for giving me the platform again to speak on cryptocurrency. So, this is the part where we do not have no depressive news. This is the part where we're talking about money, we're talking about your future, and certain myths that are out there that we actually want to actually confirm. or deny it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I was hearing you, Ratty. Oh,
Yeah. Well, on it. Before you go,
sorry. Yes.
before you go, you can hear me? You can hear me,
Yes.
right? Yeah, before you go, Reggae Global Radio, I want me to throw out something here. Let me say, all right, here we go, people. The views and opinions expressed by guests on Reggae Global Radio, including those of Wilfred Rattigan, are for educational purposes only and do not
Yes.
constitute financial advice. Reggae
Yes.
Global Radio and its hosts do not endorse or recommend any specific investment. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions. Neither Reggae Global Radio nor Wilfred Rattigan is responsible for any financial losses resulting from information shared on this program. So that is a legalistic way of saying, listen, we're not endorsing anything. We're bringing on Marvin for educational
Yes.
purposes to tell you, share his experiences and tell you what's going on out there. And you will hopefully you'll become informed and you make up your mind as to what you want, whether you want follow Marvin's advice and invest or don't follow Marvin at all. So it's entirely up to you. So having read the disclaimer, Marvin, did upon spot there, Papa. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yes. Yes, we're
All
ready.
right. Good. Yeah, man. Thank you again. And I'm very happy that you actually chipped in with that disclaimer. I myself would like to give a disclaimer. It is the right thing to do. It's a legal thing to do. I am not, so for the record, I am not a financial advisor. Anything that I say is for educational purposes only. I am a cryptocurrency enthusiast, a cryptocurrency educator. Personally, I am also an investor in the market, but just someone who is shedding light on what I believe every single person within my hearing needs to hear and do their own research. Do your own research. That is something in the crypto space that everybody will tell you. Not financial advice, do your own research. But you see, among us as Black people, especially um, Jamaicans, most of us, we don't research. We hear that a brethren down the road told me about this thing and it sound good and no research. And then another brethren tell him that it's a scam. So I'm not going there because it's a scam. And then persons just have people swaying their perception of something that can turn out to be life changing for you or can also be detrimental to you. And for you to know whether it's detrimental or it's life changing, you have to do your research, people. You can't just get up and just take somebody's word for something and just run with it and formulate your own opinions because John Brown told you so. So I am the person who is literally giving you information, but not information that I pretty much put together. Information that you, when you hear, and I want persons to document things that are being said from my mouth this evening, so that after the program or even during the program, you can quickly go to Google and do some research, or if you want to do deeper research. Because one of the problems that we're faced with is that those that you have around you who are licensed financial advisors, a lot of them, and this is based on experience, a lot of them in our banking sectors, they were taught to think one way and to give you what I believe are organic responses. A lot of them don't know anything about the cryptocurrency space. The most they will tell you, oh, we here, and I'll give you an example. We here in Jamaica, we don't believe in cryptocurrency. It is not traded by us, and you must be mindful of these things. They're very risky. And Bank of Jamaica doesn't support. And when you listen to them carry on and on, nothing is wrong with them telling you that the markets are risky, because the truth is there are a lot of risks. And this is where research comes in. This is where listening to other persons who have experienced the market tell you about it, and you do your own research. I
Yes.
have
This thing, yeah?
uh, so, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. So I have There are a lot of my students who I believe are currently in the chat right now. They are testament of the fact that information that they garnered from myself was more than useful in getting them to decipher where to invest their funds. Now, when it comes to money and it comes to black people, a lot of persons are always skeptic to invest because of prior scams. And it is sometimes I wonder if it is a spell that was cast on my people. Why? They are always finding the scams, but never finding the real projects to actually invest their monies. They're always finding the scams. I am also victim of scams. I got introduced to the markets to, I think, IML was the name of a pyramid scheme back in 2015, where it's a pyramid, and you needed to actually recruit people in order to make some money from investment. But while you're recruiting, you're learning about the markets and how to trade, and they're telling you of different tools in the market, the Fibonacci, Bollinger Bands, the RSI, and you're learning about the market, candlesticks, it goes up, it goes this way, blah, blah, blah. But for me, I am always a deep diver. So I don't just look at things surfacely. So a number of persons were comfortable going out of their way, recruiting people. I took the opportunity of actually going to Market Traders Institute in Orlando, Florida, where I got certified as a foreign exchange trader. And for me, I moved away from Forex trading back in 2020, 2019, 2020. I started to phase out because I learned that for me, the Forex market was manipulated by banking institutions. A lot of financial institutions manipulates the foreign exchange market. And a lot of what you do was left up to guess. It was a guess and spell game. You're guessing that the market might go here or it might not go there. And this for me, it led me down the rabbit hole of now learning of the cryptocurrency market, what it's about, how different is it from Forex. And that's when you learned of a brand new concept that came about in about 2008. The blockchain technology was developed, and the first cryptocurrency coin was Bitcoin. Now, a number of people hear about Bitcoin and stuff. If you had bought $10 worth of Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency, in 2008, 2010, one Bitcoin in 2010 was for 1 cent, 1 American cent, 1 cent. So if you had bought $10 worth, you would have gotten 1,000 Bitcoins for your money. So you go on an exchange. I call an exchange in layman terms the supermarket for cryptocurrency. That's where you go and buy whatever cryptocurrencies are available on the exchange that you actually want to put your money on. So I'm going to tell you the purpose why the blockchain was created, because of all the fraud in the banking sector, and people needed to move away from the banks being the intermediaries, the middleman. They have always been the person between your money and a transaction that you actually want to do. Now, it so happened that the cryptocurrency came to literally challenge the current financial system, which is flawed. It's full of flaws, it's full of scams, and there are a number of issues with the current financial system that we have. But we as black people, most of us, because we've been scammed, we don't trust each other. We believe everything what the white man say or another ethnic group. So we tend to want to hear it from them. While we were busy worried about scams, they, meaning the other ethnic groups, were busy putting their monies in a system that they did their research on. So if you had bought $10, if I did come to you, if I had come to anybody here that has tuned in, if I had come to you in 2010 as a black Jamaican, and I said to you, boy, I'm hear about Bitcoin, I hear about the future of Bitcoin. Let us just put $10 upon it. Not even $10. A lot of us would have put it. $10 would not have hurt a lot of people. Almost every single family represented in Jamaica, the Caribbean, could have found $10. If you had listened to a man like me when I tell you, say, boy, 1 Bitcoin is for 1 cent, but in the next 14 to 15 years, this 1 cent coin could, listen the word, could be worth $100,000. You know what some of you would have done? You would have tried to find out who my family members are, and you call them or my pastor and tell them, said, that young man there, we don't need to check him head. Him sick. He's a madman. I believe a number of you would have said, if I had told you that this 1 cent new money called Bitcoin in the next 14 years would appreciate in value from being 1 cent to $100,000, you wouldn't tell me that I'm crazy. Well, I have news for you. If you had bought the $10 in 2011, 2010 for Bitcoin, you would have gotten 1,000 Bitcoins. 1,000. And I know some persons, I can't see the chat. I don't know. We can't see the chat. But for persons who are in the chat, who you are into crypto, you know them. You can just simply pull it up on Google. You can type the answers in the chat. 1,000 times the current price for Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin today is 103,000. I think it's $103,000. That 1 cent coin that you would have bought in 2010, and you would have gotten 1,000 Bitcoins. You today, 1,000 times 103,000 would make you $103 million richer today from your $10 purchase. Check it. Just $10 in 2010, 2011. The black man did tell you, and you didn't listen, but you know what? Fine. So we missed Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now a store of value. There are almost 30 states in the US that have written a bill to have what is known as a Bitcoin strategic reserve. I want everybody in the chat to make a note of that right now. Bitcoin strategic reserve. Bitcoin strategic reserve, meaning the same purpose that gold is serving in the US Treasury Department or the state's Treasury Department, where it's a store of value, right? Bitcoin is literally right now being tabled. A bill has been tabled by more than 30 US states to make Bitcoin a strategic reserve, a valued asset that the country can fall back on, right? As a matter of fact, Cynthia Lomis, who is a congresswoman in the US, in US right now, she from 2024 has been literally throwing it out there that she's suggesting that the US government sells its gold. Listen to me carefully. Cynthia Lomis, Lummis. Please to do your research. She's a congresswoman. While the rest of us in the Caribbean is busy talking about the corruption, and for some of my young people busy on TikTok gossiping and pranking people, the entire world is moving ahead with what I know is a new financial system. In October 1st of 2024, you must understand that what is known as the quantum financial system was introduced to every major banks globally. QFS, the quantum financial system. I'm giving you words, I'm giving you dates, I am giving you information. Well, when you get off, you will understand and respect. I hope you respect my level of research that can help you to make a serious financial decision tonight for yourselves and your family. I bring good news. Good news me bring. I am telling you tonight that for those of you who have missed Bitcoin, there are several other coins that has the potential to give you significant returns on your little money right now than you could ever imagine. As a matter of fact, this is important to me to tell everybody simply because 90% of the workforce, police, soldier, nurse, doctor, mathematicians, accountants, will be replaced by artificial intelligence. Go and do your research. 90%. As a matter of fact, it was Bill Gates. Just 3 weeks ago, Bill Gates, we don't know Bill Gates. He's always at the center of every controversy and world events that they're working on making the 2030 agenda be their top priority. He's saying that if within the next 10 years, most doctors and teachers will, not might, the word was not might, within the next 10 years, that's 2025, so that's going to be 2035. By 2035, we could see most teachers and doctors replaced by artificial intelligence. Now, that should be alarming. And when you hear this, this does not mean that the robots who are going to be taking your position is going to be working for you and the government is going to pay them and they come and give you the money that they worked for you. The reason that you're going to be replaced is simply this. The rich wants to be richer. The robots to them are more efficient. They don't get tired. They don't complain. They don't have family issues. And the list goes on as to why you are replaceable. So the question is, within the next 10 years, what are your plans to safeguard your future, right? So all of this came into perspective as to why I needed to spread awareness on this new evolving economy. New evolving economy. El Salvador was the first country, mark my words, in 2021. El Salvador became the first country in the world that made Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador. The same presidents were talking about he's a madman and he can't and he's this. The same people who were saying it, it's just this year that El Salvador president was asked to come to the White House to meet with Elon Musk and met with Donald Trump to discuss cryptocurrency and how it is working in his country. If you need to know the power, when he did that in 2021, he bought in at Bitcoin when Bitcoin was at 67,000, its all-time high. Bitcoin dropped, which is called a bear market, meaning the value of the asset went down from 67,000 US dollars all the way down to 17,000 US dollars. We had a bear market, and that in that period, I can tell you, a lot of people who were watching the markets fall, they cashed out and they sold at a loss, and a lot of people were in uproar over the markets and whatever. But one thing you need to learn where these markets are concerned, when you would have done your research on assets that you're investing in, you must understand that as long as the asset has what is called a utility, meaning a use case, a real world use case, meaning it has solid backing, it has value. Don't watch the market depreciating and run from the market. Them tell you that you must buy when the market is red and you sell, meaning take profits when the market is green. So when the market is going up, 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 that's not the time for you to be jumping in, because not every market goes up in a straight line, not even the current financial market. You have ups and you have downs. And this is simply information that is out there. You have to understand also how to protect yourselves. So security is of paramount importance. When you talk about scams, there are hundreds of thousands of scams. As a matter of fact, in 2024, the scams in crypto and the regular financial market that we're doing now went up considerably. Some of you are running from cryptocurrency. Why? This is digital thing. I'm not into that. Well, let me tell you something. The world and the people who are calling the shots, they are not waiting for you to make a decision about the markets. Traditional finance that you currently know, meaning you go to the bank and you get fiat money, meaning fiat, physical cash or coins. They call it to fiat. That is going to be a thing of the past. Now, in the cryptocurrency sphere, they are blockchain technology. So the blockchain technology is literally the technology that was created in 2008 to facilitate the creation of cryptocurrencies and this new financial market. So the blockchain technology is there as it literally replaces the bank and the fraud that happens. So it's a big transparent computer. It's a big device that pretty much can show you every single transaction from its inception until today. You can go back and find where every money was moved. You may not know the holder of the accounts that the funds were transferred from wallet A to wallet B, or account A to account B. But you best believe that the blockchain, it keeps a record, an accurate record for every single transaction. So you want to know a lot of things. You're asking, I know you might be having a lot of questions, and you're going to get a chance to ask as many questions as possible. I'm going to say this to you. If you are not yet involved in the cryptocurrencies, this is my personal opinion, based on research, what I know. If you're not yet involved in cryptocurrencies, and not just any cryptocurrencies, because they're different, and I'm going to break that down for you. You have meme coins, you have altcoins, and you have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is by itself, the first crypto. Altcoins, meaning coins that are an alternative to Bitcoin. Coins that has utility, use cases, that has solid backing, solid financial backing. But then you have meme coins, which somebody could come and make up a coin about Rattigan, the Wilfred Rattigan coin. And just like that, no financial backing, we just create one cryptocurrency coin and I just advertise it to the cryptocurrency community. And let's say people like Marvin, they're like, yo, Marvin is launching a coin about Wilfred Rattigan. And we launched that coin, at say 10 cents. That's the launch price. So we launch at 10 cents, Wilfred coin. Now everybody say, all right, boy, we like Marvin, we're gonna buy some. For every single person who buys the Wilfred coin, it increases the price of the coin automatically. Real price increase and real money that you can withdraw and send straight to your bank account. Because remember, you cannot buy a cryptocurrency unless you have fiat currency. So the current money that we have is what you connect your Visa debit card, you connect it to a payment system, either through an exchange or through a hot wallet. We call it hot wallet because it's online, and you actually buy the cryptocurrency. Once you buy it, you get the amount that you want, removal of the fees in exchange for the monies that you're willing to spend on the asset. So everybody who buys increases the price. So Will could have easily spent $10 and him probably get, depending on how many coins were minted or you can get for your $10. Let's say he got 1,000 coins, right? For $10. But more people kept on buying. Before you know it, the coin reaches $10-20 million market cap, meaning the overall value, the value of the entire market. And then Will, who spent $10, he's now seeing 100,000 US from his $10 purchase. And he can literally take out that if enough liquidity is there, meaning there's a pool. So every fund that is invested in that asset, it is invested into a pool. So based on what the market ratio, he can maybe get all of his money if enough funds are there, or he can get the majority of what the pool will allow based on what's available. So long and short of the story, anybody here can create their own cryptocurrency, which is literally a new financial system that puts the power in the average man's hand. Literally, not only cryptocurrency you can create, but you can also create your own blockchain, meaning I have my own company where people who want to create cryptocurrencies can create it on my blockchain. If you want, you can create your own exchange. An exchange, again, is like a cryptocurrency supermarket, a place where people can come and buy their cryptocurrencies. I am presently undertaking that project. By December of 2025, I am going to have a cryptocurrency. Well, I would like to have a cryptocurrency exchange where my black brothers and sisters can have easy access into purchasing crypto. Of course, this has to be regulated. It has to be audited. So you have cryptocurrency. So you have cryptocurrency firms that audits whatever is created to be operated on the blockchain. So you have blockchain auditors, you have cryptocurrency auditors, the coin auditors, you have the exchange auditors. So it's a broad field. If I were to exchange, if I were to not exchange, wrong word. If I was supposed to encourage any parent today that have their child or children in university, I would tell you, based on the shift in today's society, that you should have your child or children right now pretty much putting every energy and effort into being computer literate, because that's where we're going. The old traditional jobs, as you know it, are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. Elon Musk says by 2040, he would have had 10 billion with a B humanoid robots, human size robots. China is currently making humanoid robots, and other countries are developing it. Before long, every single job is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence and robots. People, this is not to scare you, but this is factual information that is there. I am saying to you, all right, given the fact that we're going to be replaced, the robots are not going to be working for you to carry the money, come and give to you. People are going to be without jobs. People are going to be hungry, but there's a new financial system that does not require you even showing up for a 9-to-5 job. So get yourselves in order, where one, we have our children being educated to create maybe them own robots or maybe them own blockchain, but it's a fast and evolving era, technological era that requires everything is fast. So fast money. SWIFT, as we know it, processes cross-border payments. SWIFT. So when you're going to the bank or you want to do a transfer, SWIFT is an intermediary organization that pretty much processes every transaction that's going cross-border or even within your country. SWIFT is involved. So they usually ask you for a SWIFT code. But SWIFT is a 50-year-old outdated system. They tried to do some upgrades recently, but although they've done the upgrades, it still does not negate the fact that transfers sometimes last for 3 days, 5 days before it gets settled. So I'm in Jamaica and I want to buy cars in Japan, as is a common practice in Jamaica, right? When you send the money, sometimes they don't receive it until 3 to 5 days, maybe more. And it's a longer process before your transfer is confirmed and the transaction starts for you to get your stuff. The delays are costly. So now you have a cryptocurrency that is literally replacing SWIFT altogether. I can confidently tell you that it's going to replace SWIFT. Why? It's faster, it's more cost effective, and of course, it's far much more secured and transparent. And that works for us, the customer. It works for the new financial era. That cryptocurrency is XRP. There are other cryptocurrencies like XLM, you have also Quant, you have Ondo, and you have a number of others, XDC, a number of them that are also looking into being a payment option, cross-border payment option. So Ripple, the advantage that Ripple, who is the company behind XRP. So now listen to me. Let's go now, people. Stick with me. So you missed Bitcoin. You missed Bitcoin altogether. All right? I am telling you tonight that based on research, based on what I know, again, do your own research. This is my conviction. This is my students' conviction. Do your research. What are some of the things you can research? How many banks are using XRP? How many companies, financial institutions have partnered with Ripple? What some of their acquisitions? And yeah, do your research. Now, XRP had a court case that was going on by the US Securities and Exchange Commission, right? And they thought or felt like XRP was a security, but it was actually a sabotage by the former Securities and Exchange Commission. While they had a court case, a lot of people backed off, and they had an injunction that stipulated that Ripple, the company behind XRP, could not sell XRP tokens to institutional clients registered with the United States. So it was a big deal, and the price for XRP dropped considerably over the years. I can stand here and let you know that yesterday, 2 days ago, today is Saturday, Thursday was the final court. The case is settled. Ripple or XRP is not a security for whatever it is. Initially, they were fined $125 million. After the new SEC has come in place, proved that they're not a security, they had a minimum settlement of $50 million. Now, if the case is done, Ripple has the approval, they can go ahead and now supply institutions in the US with XRP tokens and the infrastructure that they have. I'm going to say this to you. You don't have to follow me. But XRP is going to be the backbone of the new financial sector. You don't have to believe it. This is my conviction. I am not a financial advisor. I am not offering financial advice. As a person with 10 years experience in the market, 5 years dedicated to cryptocurrency, lost monies trading meme coins that did not have any solid backing, any real world utilities, made a mess. But let me tell you this, today, I can tell you this confidently, that when you would have done your research, a number of you who have not yet invested is going to come back for a Wilfred program by now in December. I'm putting a date on it, Will. By December 2025. Now, call me a man who is exaggerating. By December 2025, everybody who invests in XRP now, based on what I am telling you and you doing your research, you're gonna come back over here and you must pay your respect and tell me thanks. You must tell me thanks. I'm not asking you. The current price for one XRP is $2 and about $2.40. In October of last year, August, I started a private group where I teach people about the markets, and they invest, they have their own monies on their own wallets. And I do have investors who have entrusted their monies in my possession for do them trading for them, right? I have no problem with that. And I do offer that service. As I said before, right now, most countries are currently doing regulation. But you know when I realized that this thing is serious, is that the government of the US, the financial regulatory bodies, have given permission to financial institutions, including banks, to go ahead and provide cryptocurrency services, meaning you can custody your crypto with the bank. People, please to do your research. As a matter of fact, this information came out this week. The United States financial regulators have given permission for financial institutions in the US, banks and other institutions, hedge funds, to go ahead and offer cryptocurrency services while regulation is still being penned in the back. If the people are saying to you, go ahead, offer cryptocurrency service, you will not get into any problem. There will not be any legal issues with us. We are giving you permission to literally go out here and offer cryptocurrency, sell crypto to people, custody people's crypto, and do all kinds of stuff. When I heard about Coinbase is one of America's largest. And again, people, I'm asking you to make a note of some of these things that I am talking about. I want you to do your research to either confirm or deny. I am not looking at any script. I don't have any script, I'm not a script. This is literally pure research knowledge being spat out at you. Literally. I live, I breathe, I do everything crypto. This is what I do for a living. And I'm going to say this to you. The mistakes that I have made in the past, I've made a lot of mistakes in not listening to solid reason. And I wanted fast money, overnight money. I want to make money right now. That aided to my detriment in the monies that I lost, because I didn't believe in putting my money on a Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP. I found out about Ethereum when one Ethereum was for $23. $23. One Ethereum today is 2,500 US. And I did not invest in it. My uncle, I have a soldier uncle who used to work for the Jamaica Defense Force, who told me about Bitcoin in 2015 when I started my journey. And I pushed him on, Mr. Brethren, no crypto business, we don't know nothing about that. We don't know nothing about crypto. As a Forex trading, I do it. And I ignored him. In 2015, I think one Bitcoin was for about $100 or $200. One Bitcoin today, I just saw the notification came up, 104,000 US dollars. The rich people have crypto. The prime ministers and MPs that want to know, I am taking this. I do not have confirmation, but from what I gather, I believe that they are fully stuck into this. Why? Because they have financial advisors. They have people who are doing an outlook on the market. Do not think that these people would not have secured themselves. But what I have a problem with, in 2024, my assistant and we coined a letter and wrote to Bank of Jamaica to offer cryptocurrency services in Jamaica and through the form of Bitcoin ATM machines. And you know what Bank of Jamaica did? They wrote us a letter that we got on the 20th of November to tell us that cryptocurrency is used for money laundering. Bank of Jamaica wrote a letter back to us to tell us they cannot give us a no objection letter to give to the company's office to have our company registered in Jamaica as a citizen. Do you know what was our reply to Bank of Jamaica? We said to them, because I knew what was about to happen, we said to them in a letter, we will be watching you closely as to who gets the first approval to offer cryptocurrency services in Jamaica. As I speak, the Prime Minister of Jamaica just installed a lady, I think it's Marjorie Meeks, some weeks ago, and her portfolio that she is currently undertaking is digital transformation. The same Prime Minister who came and told us that money under your mattress, his exact words, will be a thing of the past. He said we need to get to the digital world, but then he just left it like that. And they kept on letting the people of the country and of the Caribbean, and not all the countries in the Caribbean. I was in Antigua in December 2024, where I did a video showcasing me using the Bitcoin ATM machine. In Antigua, Antigua is very crypto friendly. Panama, very crypto friendly. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, very crypto friendly. The Cayman Islands is no crypto friendly. Where is Jamaica? Where's Jamaica? We are always at the back, at the bottom. And I'm saying to all the Caribbean nationals, all the persons who are scared, invest what you can afford to lose. At least that's what the financial advisors would tell you. Me, I am not a financial advisor, but I can say this on record. If I were you, the very couch that you're sitting on, me, I would sell it. Honestly, I am not telling you to go sell your couch. I'm saying if I were you. Why? What if I tell you right now, what if I say to you that by 2027, the next 2 years, that one XRP token could be worth 10,000 US dollars. It's currently at $2.40. There are some people who don't do research, who don't have a clue about the information that I have, who would doubt that right now. No, that can't be. But the same people are the same people who would have said that about Bitcoin 15 years ago when Bitcoin was for 1 cent. If I had told them that Bitcoin next 15 years would be 104,000 US dollars for one, they would say I'm crazy. Well, I'm going to challenge you this evening. You don't have to believe me. What you can do, you can join my class. I do have a class. And with Mr. Rattigan's permission, I would like to give my phone number for persons who will be interested. You don't have to. You can independently go, do your research and trade. You don't have to do it with me. You can go. But for the persons who would like further guidance or to find out what is it I am offering, about the exchange I am going to be launching, about XRP, what we know, and why we think the price is going to be X. If you want to be a part of our private community, I'm going to give you a phone number for our office. You don't have to call it. You can just send a WhatsApp message that you're interested. There's a cost. There's a cost to join. It is not free. And I'm going to tell you why it's not free. I was offering my services for free. Free. And people took it for granted. Some people came there, they disrespected us, and we started to grow. And we grew. And I realized that I could not do it alone, so I had to take on a staff. I have 3 assistants that are paid. Actually, I have 4, but 3 from the 4 are paid. The next one is voluntary, and I plan to pay her because she's doing an excellent job. I'm almost sure she's in the chat. Big up yourself, Shireen, and to all the staff of the Black Street Game Changers. right? We are going to be doing something in this Caribbean that is revolutionary. Let me give you this, because this is not sweets that I'm putting into your mouth. If every Caribbean country that is represented here, or every family that is represented here this evening, spend at least 250 US dollars to buy 100 XRP tokens right now for the current price, and the price fluctuates based on market current price. But I think the price for $2.40, the fees to buy it are not expensive. XRP was designed to be cheap, right? So the fees are not expensive. Find out what exchange in your area, in your country, that legitimate exchange, and then see if you can acquire the asset. If you can buy 100 XRP, which I believe is the bare minimum, if my prediction is correct, that by 2027, one XRP could be worth 10,000 US dollars. 100 times 10,000 is 1 million. And we're not talking about Jamaican dollars. We're talking about the US dollars. Some of you have worked for 40 years, 40, 50 years, and your pension is a laugh, is a joke. I am saying to you this evening, this is the first time in history. People, listen to this information. This is the first time in history anybody gets the chance to literally front run the banking institutions and hedge fund institutions in acquiring an asset that is going to be the backbone of the new financial sector. This is the first time in history that black people have a chance, a meager chance, 250 US dollars. I mean, some of us have wasted more money than that on foolishness. Just try it. 250 US dollars right now can get you 100 XRP tokens. And I promise you, by December, you don't have to wait till 2027. By December, my analysis is that by December, the mere minimum that XRP could be at is 100 US dollars. From here to 100 US dollars at the current price, that would be a 50x, meaning 50 times your investment. 50 times your investment. No banking institution can give you that. No financial institution out there can offer you that. And I'm saying to you, what do you have to lose? $250? I know that for some people that's hard to come by. What if I am actually right, and by December, it is not only for $100, but XRP reaches 1,000 US dollars for one? Do you know that that would have been 100,000 US dollars that you would have actually made from your, and by the way, this is in the 5th month, which means we only have 7 more months to determine if I am a fraud. We have 7 more months to determine if I am a complete fraud. And you might be asking, what are some of the factors that could be driving the price of this asset? I'll give you one of the main ones. It's called an ETF, Exchange Traders Fund. This is an instrument that financial institutions and hedge funds, they actually sell to retirees and other multi-billionaire and multi-millionaire clients who don't have the time to set up digital wallets and to track and trace and stuff. So they purchase these instruments on their behalf. 17 of the most renowned financial institutions have currently filed to the United States Securities and Exchange Commission for an exchange traders fund, for an ETF, an XRP ETF. You can Google it. You can go on their website and you can pull it up on the SEC website. 17. Oh, by the way, by October, the SEC has a legal duty where they must either disapprove or approve those ETF by October. When that happens, the kind of institutional monies that are going to flow on the XRP ledger is going to be astronomical. I know, I think Mr. Will setting up. I think this is my time.
No,
now.
no.
All right.
No. We just kind of relax. And I don't
Okay.
think. No.
Sorry, I thought you were ready. All right. So that is just one factor. There's another catalyst that is going to skyrocket the price of XRP. You must listen to people when people give you information and do your research. Currently, there are more than 300 institutions, financial institutions, including banks, that are on board with Ripple, who is the company that makes the XRP ledger. So the XRP ledger, you remember when I was talking about SWIFT, and that SWIFT transactions actually takes 3 to 5 days sometimes to settle. With Ripple or XRP, it takes 3 to 5 seconds. The transaction takes 3 to 5 seconds. Everything that you know that is real world is about to be tokenized. You see that word there? Go Google it, what they mean by tokenization. Everything that you know, including real estate, including gold, is about to be tokenized. Let me give you a quick example. So there's a company known as LCX. LCX. They are literally going to be dropping NFTs. NFTs. Non-fungible tokens. These are digital assets that are digital art that are created on the blockchain that people can actually buy, but they are representing a purpose. So the company LCX, they are creating NFTs, non-fungible tokens, digital assets, where 1 ounce of gold, instead of going to a shop or the bank to go buy 1 ounce of raw gold, GOLD. Now you can buy 1 NFT digitally, which represents 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of real gold. So if the value of gold appreciates, the value of your NFT also appreciates. That's the power of crypto. No bank, no nothing. For those of you who have not been noticing, between 2015 till now, there have been over 6,000 bank branches that have closed down operation in the United States of America. I want you to research tonight how many bank branches and also banks have closed down within the past 10 years. And you will understand exactly where we are. You now become your own banker. You now manage your own money. You now do whatever you want. People, there are going to be regulations, but you must understand that this new financial era, I am so excited about it, is decentralized. So centralized means there's a central office, and it is regulated, and you have to go to the bank, and there have to be intermediaries, and you can't do no transaction unless those intermediaries gets involved. Now, with crypto, I can owe Rattigan some money, and Rattigan said, listen, Marvin, send me the money in a Bitcoin. Once he sends me his Bitcoin wallet address, I send Rattigan the money when we have for him to his wallet. No bank, no SWIFT, no 3 to 5 day delays. Instant payment. Rattigan get him money. He goes online and he does this. Boops, convert my Bitcoin to cash and send it to my bank account that's attached to my digital account. And guess what? Him can go to the ATM, swipe him card, and take off the money that I sent him in the form of Bitcoin to his Bitcoin wallet address that he swapped from Bitcoin to fiat, which is money, and convert it at the ATM in a cash. It's easy. It's a process. Some of you don't want to listen, and this is why, as Black people, we're always at the bottom. I am saying to you tonight that if you trust the information, please to join my group. I charge $100 to join my private group on Telegram. You don't have to come. You don't have to join. You don't need me. This is not a pyramid scheme. People, I am stressing it. You don't need me. Right? But if you want more guidance, if you want to join the community that is going to be led or being led by Marvin, Adrian, Edgar, to become the #1 next private sector organization, not just of Jamaica, but the Caribbean. I am turning those 240 odd people into US millionaires by 2027, and nobody can stop that. The only way that can be stopped is if the assets that they're currently holding, which is mainly XRP, only if them sell before time. But based on my conviction, based on my research, based on what I know, if you missed Bitcoin, don't miss XRP. If you missed Bitcoin, do not miss the backbone of the new financial sector. 300 banks and institutions globally would not have partnered with a company that they don't know where it's going. The Bank of England, Canada Bank, Bank of America, Standard Charter, PNC Bank, all of SBI remittance, they did with remittance down in Asia. All of these institutions have partnered with Ripple, and before 2025 is out, they will be onboarding onto the XRP ledger. And once they do that, just imagine the kind of monies that are going to be passing through the XRP ledger, increasing the value of the coin from $2 to where it's going. You have in crypto what is known as speculated earnings. That is when you buy the meme coins where now have no backing in a shore. So it might go up and it might not. What I am telling you is not from speculation. You are being told and warned about expected wealth. It is expected. As a matter of fact, last fact, and I'm going to stop. I'll take some questions. The last point, Ripple, the same company that makes XRP, they just almost 4 weeks ago, they bought a company known as Hidden Road. Please to write it down. I mean, I want to come off until today. You need to know this. Hidden, Hidden, Hidden Road. And that company is a financial institution with 300 clients that processes 3.1 trillion US dollars per year. Ripple now owns that company. The XRP ledger will be used to facilitate the transactions from just that company. Just imagine 3 trillion US passing through just from just one company with 300 other clients. That's just $3 trillion that we are sure about that will be passing through the XRP ledger. People, even if XRP only goes to $100 by now in December, from here, that's a 50x, a 50 times your investment. You don't have to listen to me. I am not a financial advisor. Everything I gave to you was from my experience, and I do not want you to make the mistakes that I have made. I am currently on path of rectifying a lot of losses. I am very happy with my acquisition. Nobody can get me trade no meme coins again because It's very high risk. You do not need to trade it. You don't need to go there. But if you so desire, that's up to you. You're adults. Make your own decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvin Edgar, thank you.
Right. Marvin, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pastor Ricky, you get that? You get that? You get all of that? I see I write down and take notes in the Pastor Ricky.
I have a couple questions I'd like to
All
ask.
right, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Reggae Global Radio said they want to do the disclaimer again. And I guess, Marvin, you can do your disclaimer.
Yes.
We did it earlier. We did it when we first started, and I'll do it again. The views and opinions expressed by guests on Reggae Global Radio include those of Wilfred Rattigan, are for educational purposes only and do not constitute financial advice. So they're saying everything you just heard from Marvin, we believe that it's for educational purposes. We don't endorse it as being financial advice. And he himself tells you that he's not a financial advisor. Reggae Global Radio and its hosts do not endorse or recommend any specific investment. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research, and Marvin has said that several times, and consult a licensed financial advisor before making any financial decisions. Neither Reggae Global Radio nor Wilfred Rattigan is responsible for any financial losses resulting from information shared on the program. So there it is. We hear what Marvin is saying. We understand what Marvin is saying, but we don't endorse what Marvin is saying. We're not saying that we endorse or we don't endorse. We're just saying, look, he's here for educational purposes. And we brought on somebody a while back, a gentleman from Nigeria who had what's it called, Jubilee coin. I don't remember, but he did this thing, and essentially we made the same. We stated the same disclaimer. Now, having said that, folks, I'm sure you have a lot of questions you want to ask Marvin, but we're going to start out with Pastor Ricky. The phone line is open. Let me put up the Let me put up the banner.
Sorry, Will, I didn't give my number.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead.
So the number for the office, for those who can, for WhatsApp, come on, people, get your pens and paper. If you're interested, you just send a message. It's 876 590 2225. So that's 876 590 2225. You just send a WhatsApp message. My assistant is there. She'll respond to you whenever. All right? Thank you.
Okay. Devon said, invite, no? Don't invite anyone to this thing because you're going to hear. No, Devon, hear me just read the thing, Devon, man. Just read the disclaimer. Anyway, Pastor Ricky, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Marvin.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, I have two questions I'd like to ask you. Number one, with the rise of the BRICS nation, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, the whole world is moving to cryptocurrency. We all know that. Right now, BRICS has 10 nations. They started with 5, but there's fully 10. And then they have additional 40 plus nations that have submitted application to join. Now, the United States of America is about to release their own digital currency. And even the president says he's going to come out. He has something what they call Trump Bitcoin or something. Trump
coin.
Right, Trump coin. So the whole world is moving to digital currency, digital passport, biometric, collecting your data, stripping you of your privacy and so forth. AI, China is leading the way with artificial intelligence. As you mentioned correctly, that, the fourth industrial revolution, anybody wants to YouTube that, speaks of super robots that's going to replace human beings, like you said.
Yep.
So we're seeing also what they're going to do by 2026, 2027. Billions of people around the world is going to lose their job, and their government are going to issue universal basic income to people to just stay home and plug into the metaverse and play video games with a face shield over their face. Now, my question is, with the rise of BRICS that's in now competition, so to speak, not really, but you know, to make it a fair statement, they're gonna defeat the US dollar because majority of the world is lining up behind BRICS. And many analysts have predicted that the US dollar is gonna like come tumbling down in a few. So your program, your advertising is basically US based. So if BRICS is on the rise and it's a threat to the US dollar, let's put it that way, a threat to the US dollar, and a lot of countries, included Cuba and Brazil, and some countries in the Middle East and Africa, and Asia has signed on to BRICS. How sustainable do you feel is the program you're advertising will be when BRICS come to full fruition? And then the next question is, the CBDC, Central Bank for Digital Currency, it's not digital currency is not regulated yet, but the whole world is moving in that direction. So do you feel like in Jamaica, the government, whoever the government will be by the time all of this come to fruition, is going to allow you as a private citizen to buy into that market and possibly squeeze out Bank of Jamaica and, you know, other financial institution like Beretta and Sagicor and so forth? Do you feel like you could be getting into some trouble as it relates to the government, because it's all going to be regulated? And once it's regulated, you know, and I know, and everybody know, the government is going to have control. The central bank digital currency will be regulated, and that's when the green light and the floodgates will open. Those are my two questions. Thank you.
Two loaded questions. All right. So firstly, cryptocurrency is not owned by the US or no government. XRP, although it's an American-made Ripple, it's an American company. It does not just offer its services to the US. So me speaking about XRP, it's not a US-based coin. As a matter of fact, and we can Google this, 95% of Ripple's customers are outside of the US. The BRICS formed because they had a problem with the US government sanctioning them, and because the US dollar was the dominant dollar globally. Trade used to be settled in the US dollar, are mostly settled into it. And they're like, you know what, we can't deal with this. So Russia and everybody came on board, of course, mainly through the Biden administration. Now, it's been a long time that the BRICS been conceptualizing this, and it took effect. I think it was last year, October, at their final summit that they spoke about.
Summit in July this year, July.
Sorry?
They have another summit coming up in July.
Yes, yes. Yeah. But their last summit was in October of last year. And that's when they spoke about their digital coin. The entire world is going digital. The cryptocurrency market is not controlled by the US or no other government. What each country can do is to come up with their own regulations. So even England right now is coming, the UK said by 2026, they would have already had a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies. And naturally, I mean, there has to be regulation for stuff. But this regulation does not stop the global advancement of a new economy that is purely decentralized, which means that with or without their regulation, you can still operate independently of their regulation. You just probably need to find a country or wherever or work around it. The Jamaican government cannot, they can't lock up anybody or stop anybody from trading crypto. You can only get locked up for when time you're scamming people and it can be proven and stuff like that. But in terms of trading on the market, no government can stop you from this particular market. It's completely independent, and it operates on the blockchain. It is not, the blockchain is not owned by any particular government. It's an independent platform created where anybody can actually participate on this blockchain. So yeah, I don't know if I answered both questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I just didn't want
Sure.
you to get into trouble in Jamaica with the government. When
No,
this
man,
thing-
no. They are about to get in trouble because they need to tell the people of Jamaica why they did not do their due diligence in educating the people more effectively of this new market where every other country is taking advantage of it. And by the time Jamaicans know of it, the main assets that the people that could have put their little money on or make their own financial decisions, it's just going to be too expensive for them to get in.
So you're
And we're
saying
always scraping up.
I'm sorry, I apologize. You said I
Yeah.
didn't want my train of thought. You said it when it becomes regulated, the Jamaica, you still are able to trade independently without any government interference. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
but the thing is this, the average Jamaican cannot buy a cryptocurrency with their Visa debit cards unless the exchange, meaning the place that they're buying it from, is approved by Bank of Jamaica. So they have been a major sabotage due to their corruption in trying to highlight their people. They've always been trying to be to create monopoly around these things and keep the Jamaican people in the back. There are many institutions that have reached out to the Jamaican government, I am sure, and they were denied. There was a company in the UK that wanted to have offered services around 2017 or so when I did my research, and they were denied. They were denied from offering services. Another problem that we're experiencing in Jamaica is that Jamaica has been blacklisted by the European Union for a number of years. So there are certain financial institutions outside of Jamaica, like PayPal and Coinbase and Binance and others, that would have wanted to actually bring the curious minds from Jamaica to come on board and buy them crypto and stuff, who have been hindered. Because, you know, once you're blacklisted by the European Union, which is no fault of the Jamaican people, but because of the corruption from higher up and not meeting certain regulations. If you learn the past report from Bank of Jamaica showed us that the fraud in the banking sector has skyrocketed to almost 900%, a 900% increase. Yet they wanted to school me and tell me that cryptocurrency is used for money laundering. And they can't explain how the Prime Minister got 140,000 deposited to his account.
Marvin, I'm sorry.
It was, yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought Nigel Clark announced before he left that, I think it was it 2023, if my memory served me well, that Jamaica has been taken off the gray list for money laundering. So why would Bank of Jamaica want to? I mean, you can't believe what they say because they don't show evidence. They just come out to the microphone and say stuff. So if Jamaica's off the gray list for money laundering, then cryptocurrency you should be able to trade. I mean, when you approach Bank of Jamaica, they shouldn't. If Jamaica is really off the gray list, why would they say that? I'm confused.
So, all right, you have to be more than confused. There, remember earlier in the program, Will was telling you as it relates to corruption issues, the corruption index, Jamaica dropped all the way down to where now 40, yeah. And the further you are from 50, meaning the closer you get to 1, is the more corrupt you are, right? And they drop 4 space. You really think, sir, the European Union is excited about that information? You think that the European Union is excited about almost 900% increase in fraudulent activities in the banking sector? You really think that the financial institutions who want to provide services to the Jamaican people are encouraged to offer services down at Jamaica, where $3 trillion cannot be found. $3 trillion is unaccounted for. Now you have to understand, I don't care what kind of list they end upon. All I know is that it's a very difficult and tedious process for persons who wants to buy casually on these markets. It's very tedious. Sometimes your verification now go through, you try. I have 200 odd people who I have been literally babysitting from last year to get them to understand. A lot of them have had significant challenges. Most of them got through. And you see the most of them who got through, most of them are in the US and Canada and other countries. But the ones in Jamaica, they can tell you. Some of them get through, some of them right now still can't get through. And one of the platforms that we currently use is cex.io. Number of persons get through from there. So some just no cannot be verified, now got through. So in some regards, you go to the bank and I'm telling you, we don't want to hear anything about crypto because we don't support it. And Bank of Jamaica says, use some money laundering. We don't. So it's like you have to be skirting around them and try not to use the word crypto because you feel like you're committing a crime. And it's very sad. And I have the exact letter from Bank of Jamaica in the 20th of November. We wrote to them because I wanted to do the legal thing and go the right route and offer the services to my Jamaican people. But as I said before, they have their people, their elites, the oligarchs in Jamaica that have always monopolized everything. You must understand that they're not going to just allow this sector to just have regular people like me. Who is me? We're going to offer crypto service in Jamaica where you make money. They're not going to do that. But I promise you, very, very soon, before 2025 is out, you will hear them start lighting up because they have Marjorie Meeks, who is now responsible for digital transformation. Because guess what? By November of 2025, the ISO 2002 platform, which is a messaging service that like Swift messaging service to confirm payments and stuff, that's happening on the digital platform. And all major banks will have to be on board by November 2025. So that is why they are making haste and trying to sensitize the people them now, but they're still not coming out. When COVID came around, they did everything to sensitize the public. Every school, every church, every institution stand 6 feet apart, do this the same way that they were so aggressive in pushing that. Why didn't they do the same thing for what is going to be a brand new economy, a brand new evolution that we have to get with now? Or we're going to miss out. We're going to miss out.
All right. A lot of you send me text messages, and I told you that Marvin is here. Marvin can stand on the moment and answer the questions. So the phone line is open, folks. 667-369-8569. He has availed himself to answer any question you want to ask him about what he presented tonight. He's a very courageous man. He's a very knowledgeable man, and he's a very open person. He's here. So what I don't want is for you to come and ask me the questions tomorrow or next week or so. Marvin is here. Marvin made the presentation. Ask him the questions. I'm encouraging you. I'm challenging you, as a matter of fact. To call him 667-369-8569. I know you have questions out there. So look at this. These must spend around 100,000 US. So some people think I'm needed by Bitcoin, you know, and I may have the $1 million. No, I'll tell a story. There's a gentleman who used to work with me back in 20. Here we go. Caller, good night. Welcome to Reason with Rattigan. Where you calling?
Good night, Mr. Rattigan. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. And you?
I'm doing wonderful, sir. I'm listening to Marvin, and I wonder if Marvin can donate $1 million to the One Legal Defense Foundation, because he has gained a lot from the cryptocurrency.
No, I thought he said he lost money because he was doing the meme coin.
No, I thought he said he won some, he gained some money from it. So I was wondering if he donates $1 million, and I will invest $1,000 in his company.
All right, correction. So my company, um, although I provide the services of pretty much being, I would say, like a hedge fund boss or manager, you can, with us, you invest your own money. We guide you to invest your own money on your own platform so you manage your own resources. You don't have to give me your money. What we do, we are an educational company where we educate you, we guide you of the scams, how to put extra layer of security with the coins that you have purchased. So we're just a guide. So you don't have to give me your money. I don't want your money like that. Only if you are interested in products like the exchange that I'm going to be doing. And that's for a different conversation. We can have that when you call, because that's going to happen. And we're selling shares where that is concerned, because I want to be the black person in the Caribbean that has an exchange that caters for my people this side of the hemisphere. I don't want no more white people and Chinese people have all the handles. I want an handle in this new and evolving economy.
My thing is this though. A lot of people is a bit skeptic, especially people in Jamaica, pertaining to all these investments. How can you win over the Jamaican people or other people who is listening to us now to say, okay, go and invest in this and go invest that? Because they have been stifled, they have been, dragged through the mud when it comes down to Ponzi scheme and everything. And quite frankly, even me myself, the program paparazzi, me can't all of you invest in that now, the local chip taking you may have gone with, right?
All right. I'm hearing you and I feel your pain. And the thing is this, that's a well-known sentiment expressed by a lot of people. I can't do this. I said it before earlier in my presentation. I'm not sure if you were here, that I myself got introduced to the markets through pyramid schemes. I know a number of people right now in Old Harbor and friends of mine, including my little brother, who never listened to me. He went and they saw this thing known as what? Must it global manpower. Some pyramid scheme, they've never met the persons behind it. Something came up on YouTube. They invested their money. They go level 1, they go level 2. And I am out here trying to say, listen, don't do it. These are scams.
My take on this though. I mean, call me stupid or give me, but a lot of people will be saying that these investment is for rich people. Not for the common man like Wilfred Rattigan and Jeffrey Virus and all those people who hold everything. We come from the gallery.
All right, I think you missed the mark, to be honest with you. This market, you don't need me. That's 1. 2, it's not a pyramid scheme. 3, the information regarding how to invest and whatever, it's right there on YouTube, on the internet. You just have to probably trust the man on YouTube. I made myself a public figure where you now don't have somebody behind camera. I make myself available. Like people, I have walked the road. I know the scams. I'm educating you of the scams. I'm telling you of assets that I know banks have secured and where this is going. For you don't have to invest. Don't feel pressured that because you remember, just a minute, remember again, you don't.
Yeah, give him a call. Let me grab another caller.
All right,
Caller,
good.
welcome to Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from?
This is Wes calling.
Yes, Wes. Yes, sir.
I am an investment advisor in the United States.
You're an investment advisor?
Yes.
Okay, you have a question for Marvin?
No, I just want to tell Marvin that he needs to read my ebook, and in there it tells you how we can set up the exchange.
Okay.
Not him.
It's not hearing you. What's the name of the book?
Boy, I've said that so many times.
Say it again one more time.
Oh boy, architecture
Mm-hmm.
of African diaspora reparation.
Architecture of African diaspora reparation.
The pilot program for Jamaica.
Pilot program from the. All right, I'll forward it to him.
Once
All right,
again,
thank you.
and he can get in touch with me, and I show him how to set it up.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll get the name of the book to you. He said that it
Right.
will greatly help your effort in setting up the exchange. So we'll see
Oh,
what happens.
okay.
Yeah, something is
Awesome.
going on because they're saying that they can't hear the callers. People are saying that the call it's low. I don't know what happened. Kevin, why are you there? Anyway, it's 12 minutes past 8, folks. Okay, here we go. Caller, good night. Welcome to Reason with Rattigan. Where are you calling from? Hello? Fine, thank you, sir. You have a question for Marvin?
Yeah, we were asking about Robin Hood, how secure you think it is to invest in a XRP. And also, I also have a suggestion for you, right? The ATI stuff that you normally file, I think it would be good if you open social media like Instagram, and each time you get a response, you just post it on there so you can expose it and show people what is going on behind closely.
Okay, all right. Thanks for the call. This is the answer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, the answer was the question. Did you hear the question, Marvin?
I think you was talking about Robin Hood. So
Yeah, you wanted to-
Robin Hood is a licensed financial exchange with the United States. When it comes to crypto, I'm going to say this to you. When it comes to cryptocurrency and exchanges, whether Robinhood, Coinbase, Binance, OKX, you name it, always know that your money on their platform is not your keys. You don't have the keys. They have the keys to stop trade, pause trade, file for bankruptcy. But the beauty about cryptocurrency is that you have something known as a cold wallet. A cold wallet is a little device which kind of operates like a thumb drive, where you remove the information, meaning you buy on the platform and then you send your asset to your cold wallet. Once you have your cold wallet, the crypto is now your crypto and now your keys. So you determine when you want to maybe upload 5% and sell it, or 10% and sell it, and you can do that on any platform you choose. But it is advised that you must have a cold wallet if you want an extra layer of security. These are some of the things that we discuss in our group. I hope that answered your question. Yeah. You're muted. You're muted, Will.
Yeah, folks are telling me that they're hearing me. It sounds hollow as if I'm coming through the computer as opposed to the board. I don't know how to fix that. And Kevin, they're about the place. So producer Joan is calling Kevin right now to see if we can address this. But going back to the gentleman's response about ATI being on a social media platform, we are going to put up the ATIs on our website, ojldf.net. You can't blame me for that because we have somebody who's managing the website and she's been asking me to send her the ATI so she can put them up so that people can actually see how the formatting and the responses, the formatting, questions, and the responses. So we hope to do that pretty soon, but I'm at fault for that. Let me say something here. Pastor Ricky, you have a question? Let me jump on it with Kevin and see if we can fix this mic problem here.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, Sir Marvin, you know, I talk to people in St. Elizabeth and the connection is so poor. No disrespect to the people in St. Elizabeth. I mean, the internet is the Wi-Fi, I mean, it's terrible in some part of the western parishes, and it's the truth. I'm not lying, honestly. I talk to people in Montego Bay, Anova, and so forth. But listen, with Jamaica don't have the infrastructure as it relates to the Wi-Fi, the bandwidth, because when you're dealing with digital currency and online trading, you're gonna need bandwidth that's steadfast and won't drop, in the middle of your transaction. I don't know how the Prime Minister did his 28 bank accounts on. Well, he lives in St. Andrews, so that's different. But for those who live way out there in the western parishes, how secure do you believe this online trading will be in Jamaica? Because will there be like a big brother in the background watching what the people do online as it relates to trade and their accounts? Is it secure? I'm not in the space down there. I was just wondering because I'm just remembering talking to people and their internet dropping, and and the Wi-Fi keeps reconnecting, because it's so terrible that they haven't invested in the infrastructure as it really. Big up Prime Minister PJ Patterson, who brought the digitalization part into Jamaica back in the great 18 years. But do you think this crypto online trading, for those who live out in the western parishes, is it secure, or even in Jamaica itself? Because the big brother always is watching in the background, and every platform that they're going to use in Jamaica, I'm sure somebody's monitoring it. Can scammers, hackers, or the government, shut it down at will? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
All right. Very good question. And in truth, it's a sad reality that our infrastructure is among the worst. Coupled with the fact that Jamaica right now, in terms of scams, we are leading. We're leading the Caribbean. And scam in Jamaica has become something that's normalized. It's okay to even sing about it in songs. And the Jamaican government don't try to they don't ban these songs. It becomes a message. And you know how influential music can be. And to have these artists just casually create songs about scamming, and they're not talking about that scamming is bad. They're literally cheering it on, like, yo, me just chop a man, a choppy line. And people celebrate and people love it. And it's not just in songs, but the whole country, from government come right down. It's like it's okay to just steal and nobody is held for it. So there are things that I can change and there are things that I can't change. I cannot change the current infrastructure. I have no control over the Wi-Fi falling or the Wi-Fi, being very good. In terms of people scamming you, yes, you can be scammed. And this is why people who join our group, we are already 10 steps ahead of the scammers. So it is, you're muted, Will.
Yes.
Okay. What is the cost for the class?
Oh, you're talking to Marvin now.
Yes.
Marvin.
Yes. I didn't hear the question.
What is the cost to join the class?
Oh, just $100. It's a one-time fee, and then we have a monthly subscription for the group operations and stuff for $20. $20 per month, but it's $100. So if you're going to be joining, it's $100. You get the first month, the first monthly subscription free. So we're not going to charge you $120. So it's $100. And it's $20 every month for the information. As I said before, we're a group, we're a very close-knitted group, and we have other plans. It's not just to buy crypto and make some money. There are other plans that we have that I will not discuss here. We discuss that in our private group as it relates to helping other people in the near future.
All right.
Okay, another question. Can you give me a brief description of your course?
She wants a brief description of your course.
Oh, well, the good thing about it, it's not a course per se where you have to come to class and stuff. What we do, because we have already zeroed in on the one asset, we pretty much just help you to get this asset. But every day in our class, it's an educational part. So we help you to get connected by your cold wallet. We explain what a cold wallet is. So you learn as you go. So it's not a classroom setting where we're going to have class tonight, blah, blah, blah. Once you join, our assistants are there to help you get started. Whichever country you are in, what platform works for your country, what to do from what not to do in terms of protecting yourself and protecting your assets. So that's what we do.
Okay, so basically it's not an investment course. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not a course. Yeah, it's not a course. You're not buying a course. What you're buying is literally just us helping you to navigate your way through the system. Because trust me, it might seem simple, but it can be very complex if you don't know what you're doing, and you can make mistake and maybe even transfer your crypto to a wrong wallet or do stuff and think that you're safe after you purchase. So just like what Pastor was asking, where we're talking about the cold wallet and securing yourself. So that's what we do. We are just that platform. Yes.
So
Go ahead.
Are you referring to?
Could you please repeat the question?
What system is he referring to?
Okay.
And I'd also like to know which platform is he using?
She wants to know what exchange?
What system you're referring to and what platform you're using?
All right. So here in Jamaica, again, for persons who are in Jamaica, you only have restricted amount of platforms or exchanges that you can buy from. So this is not like Forex trading where you have to be on MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. That's not how it works. It's whatever centralized, it's whatever.
Sir, just give me a minute. What I'm asking, okay, there are platforms such as Coinbase
Right.
and Binance. So I'm just, which platform as far as buying crypto, which platform are you using?
Okay, so, all right. It's a simple question. It depends on where you are. Again, and I think I've been trying to answer that same question, but maybe in a different way. So it depends on where you are. I don't want to give out, excuse me, too much information. For want of a better word, I want you to join the group and let us guide you. If you're in the US, the Coinbase, because if I tell you everything, you don't make no sense to join the group. I've already told you the coin that we are trading, where it's going. But if you're in the US, Coinbase is a legitimate broker. Uphold is a legitimate broker that we would have recommended. Robinhood is also a good one. Binance, these are legitimate brokers. Crypto.com is also a legitimate one. Coinbase, on the other hand, I love Coinbase and respect them for what they're about to do, because they are currently filing for a banking license. And this is what everybody needs to know now. All the traditional banks that you now know will be a thing of the past. Exchanges are going to be the new banking sector, because we're entering a new financial era, which is cryptocurrency.
Okay, just one more question, Mr. Rattigan.
Yes, ma'am.
Marvin, you mentioned earlier about taking money. You have clients that give you money. Do you do that with folks in the US?
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are. Yes, I do have investors who are in the US, investors in the UK. I have investors in Canada. that have bought shares into my prospective exchange that we hope to launch. So yes, it doesn't matter where you are. As a matter of fact, I am a holder of a Bank of America account. I really don't have a Jamaican account because I don't trust the Jamaican banking system, and it's the truth. I mean, you can't blame me for a 900% increase in banking fraud. And I'm very sorry for my Jamaican people. This is why my goal is to help as many persons to get on board now before it's too late. And I'm gonna be honest. In August of last year, one XRP was for 30 cents. One XRP now is for $2.40. In January, it was at $3.20, which means if persons had listened to me in August of last year, they would have been up 10 times their investment. So I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to protect the people who don't have any money, who are about to be replaced by artificial intelligence. You don't have to listen. You don't have to follow Marvin. I am just the messenger with the education. I've walked the path. I know what's coming. And I am happy that I am leading over 200 people in my private group to becoming US millionaires by 2027, the latest. Yeah.
So with the case that particularly in the United States, are you licensed with the SEC and are you registered with FINRA?
Okay, so no. I'm not licensed with the SEC. And again, I'm gonna say this to you. They just like what we spoke about earlier. The government of the US is not the final hurrah for anybody doing businesses with anybody. Cryptocurrency does not have any regulation framework as we speak. They are currently doing that. And the government in the US, the financial authority, just gave banks, other institutions, and by extension, people who wants to trade on the crypto market, just go ahead without any regulator, because there's no regulatory framework. So it's not like, oh, you need to do this in order to offer this service in this department. That's not there. But we are registered in Georgia. So we are registered in Georgia. And we're about to be registered in Panama, St. Vincent, Dubai, Singapore, and the Cayman Islands.
Okay, Marvin,
Yes.
being registered with the state
Yes.
simply means that you obtain the tax ID and you form a legal business entity such as an LLC or an S corp. That's all it means. However,
Yes, we are. Yes, we are a LLC. Yes.
let me finish please. I'll say this. I am not referring to the regulations in terms of crypto. However, any intake from investors will require you to be licensed with the SEC and registered with FINRA. Thank you, Mr. Rattigan.
Thank you. Thank you for your
All right.
thank you thank you for the attention and the time on the call. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, it's
Can I ask
8:30 now.
a question, Sir Rattigan?
Yeah, we're turning off the phone though. Let me just make people know that.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead with the call. Because we'll move
Yeah.
on to another segment.
Yes, Sir Marvin. One last question.
Yes.
I know a lot about what's going on as it relates to the cryptocurrencies that the United States is working on to roll out. You know, because the whole world is going cashless, no doubt about that. And anybody can do their research. If cash is going to be obsolete, maybe in another, they're not going to obsolete it, you know, initially, but it's going to convert to over a 3 to 5 year period. So what can you do as a voice in Jamaica to help, since the government is keeping a lot of things secret from people? What can you do as a voice in Jamaica to help prepare the Jamaican people? Because the truth of the matter, and the same thing is going to happen in America, one of these days we're all going to wake up and all the banks will be closed, and then there will be a run on the banks. People can't get their money. ATMs probably have enough cash to dispense. So what can you do from the Jamaica space to help? I mean, I know you have your little private group, as you said, and that's just a closed group for your 243 people. But in general, Jamaica have at least almost 3 million people. The government know what's coming, what's going to happen, but the average person don't know. In the rural areas, the inner cities, in the communities, put it that way. What can you do with the 200? Well, maybe enough of them might not live in Jamaica, but what can you do to start preparing the people of Jamaica so that way one of these days they wake up and all the banks are shut down and they can't get their money? What can you do?
Thank you for that question. I have been doing a lot of education through my channels. Anybody who follows me know that I've been very vocal about it. I've been very vocal about the assets that I am trading, the same XRP. It's no big secret. And I do that because, as I said before, you don't have to join my platform. You understand what I mean? So I tell them what it is. I'm trading this. This is here. So people have to learn to do their own research. I can only do what I can do and no more. I even realized that I've been shadow banned. I've been shadow banned, and that's a real thing. Where these people who controls the internet and whatever they have people who they know the community is listening to and who they fear. So they try to sabotage your thing. They have their people who they pay to come on your program and say bad things about you, call you a scammer. You're promoting crypto, you're instantly seen as a scammer. As a man, let me tell you how serious it is. Right now, I was trying to get a lovely apartment I saw in Kingston, and I wanted to get it. And would you believe that the transaction could not go through because when I filled out the documents, they saw where I was a cryptocurrency educator and investor. The scorn that these people put on it. They're gonna tell you that no, they want to sell their property and they want to do business with corporate people. They don't want anybody into crypto, and it affects me to the level of just dunceness that is in the atmosphere, and how people are more keen to listening to the government who means them nothing. You're trying to educate people, and some people they're not gonna. A lot of them, they don't call the banks to ask what happened to my money that I deposited last week, but they would want to call you. You understand what I mean? They don't call the bank, and the bank is the one stealing the people's money every single day in Jamaica. If you go into the banks and when you look at the customer service, especially NCB, National Commercial Bank, when you go to the customer service area, there are so many people whose little monies that they've worked gone. No question, no answers. The Ministry of Finance never comes out and address the thousands of Jamaicans whose money goes missing every god day in the banking sector. So people are still trusting a sector that pretty much is taking your money and promising you to do an investigation. 90 days pass, and then them tell you that, sorry, they can't help you.
All right. Look, we're going to have to leave it right there, so.
Yes.
Again, Reggae Global Radio put out the disclaimer, and Marvin put out his disclaimer. And folks, like Marvin said, do your research, and in anything when you investment involves risks. And like them said, you only put in what they can afford to lose. So, yeah. But you have Marvin number, you can reach out to Marvin, talk to Marvin, and figure out what how we move forward from here. Now, Marvin, I would join us another time because Marvin now is a multidimensional person. Marvin is not only an entrepreneur, a crypto trader, whatever the term is, but Marvin is also in the political realm. Marvin have a political party that he's associated with, and we're going to invite them to come on because we want to know what is their plan for Jamaica, considering that an election is looming. So Marvin is going to bring some members from his, at least Marvin promised me that. So he's going to bring some members from his political party to come on, and then we can have a discussion. So Marvin, listen.
Up Jamaica.
Up Jamaica, yeah. You don't have to go away now, because we're going to do another segment now. I just realized the time I fly. So we're going to do another segment. We won't take a break. We're going to ease right into the segment now. So we'd love for you to stay with us and join and you know, offer your comments. All right, folks, listen. I'm going to play the 2 clips, and I want to pay attention to these 2 clips, because these are people who are arrogant to the core. Members of the well, one of them is a spokesperson, editor. The other one is a minister. But I just want you to listen. I want you to listen carefully, because this is the season now where they're going to promise the things. You know, they're going to come out now in full force. You know, all I know who couldn't get chicken back before, will now get chicken now, because the election is right around the corner. All I want who never have no water, I'm going to get water now, even though I'm promising the water from 2016. But before I get into it, into the meat of the matter, I just want to play you 2 clips. And at this point, I personally thank Mr. Jeffrey Tavares for asking the spokesperson for the JLP party, and I guess the Prime Minister and others. I personally want to thank Jeffrey Tavares for asking this question. And I am forever indebted to him, because I never thought about asking this question. But Jeffrey asked the question, and the man in his ignorance and arrogance answered Jeffrey. And so this is going to be a very popular clip on our program, pretty much like this one here.
I've always said to people, do not trust the words of politicians. Do not trust the words of politicians.
That's how we start. Do not trust the words of politicians. We're not talking about you know, Marvin, but we're talking about them people, right? Now, listen to this, people. Listen to this.
Have you read the manifesto of your party?
Have you
read the manifesto?
The manifesto, Jeffrey, was edited by me. Yes?
When they hear that, the manifesto, Jeffrey, the manifesto was edited by me. And we can't get to Morgan doing Morgan things, because I would show you the t-shirt that we have around here. Some people are asking if they're for sale. Now, here's another one. Here's another one. Pay careful attention, as usual.
Can't go back to policies. And when we tell you that we're going to do something for you, you can bet on us to implement it, because we not tell you anything and then say we never intend to implement it.
And when we do something for you, you hear that language? It's a favor. When we do something for you, and when we say we're going to do something for you, we implement it. Because we don't want to come and say, you know, we never intend to or whatever. This is a pet peeve of mine, people. Who have the power? You, the voters. But you should say, when we say we are going to do something for you. No. She's supposed to be instructed what to do. She's supposed to be told by the people, this is what we want you to do. But that wasn't the case. That hasn't been the case. And that's why we have to make a fierce statement here. Listen to it again. It hurt me. Really, really, really hurt me. Listen to this.
We can't go back to policies. And when we tell you that we're going to do something for you, you can bet on us to implement it, because we not tell you anything and then say we never intend to implement it.
Okay. And when we tell you we're going to do something for you. And then we have this gentleman here. Play him one more time, you know. Remember what she said now. When we tell you we are going to do something, we are do it. And remember this little man here. Remember this man here.
Have you read the manifesto of your party? Have you read
the manifesto? The manifesto, Jeffrey, was edited by me. Yes?
Yeah. Hear the arrogance though. And the force. The manifesto, Jeffrey, was edited by me. And the other one said, When we tell you, say we are going to do something, we do it. Now, when he said he edited the manifesto, people, I wrote to him, you know, I don't know why this man is so afraid of me. Him called me antagonist. Him said that me I try to bring down the government. And I said to him, come over here and talk. Him come on Shaka program and said, he's like Stone Love. He stands alone. And I said to him, well, why don't you come and stand alone with me? Come on my program and we can have a one-to-one discussion. Him not coming. When he said this, I wrote to him last week and I said to him, please, Mr. Editor, Senator. You know, we call him editor because he said he made the thing and he was an editor before he became a senator. So I asked him, I said to him, please tell me which one of the manifestos, because I'm looking at 2016 and 2020. I'm focused on those two. Please tell me which one of them. Is it 1620 or both? Please tell me because I'm doing a series and I want to make sure I give proper attribution. I want to say, you know, the editor, senator, he edited this one here. I don't want you to tell something about it, you know, tell about the 2016 and you didn't do the 2016. To this day, the man has not responded. The man has not responded.
Hey,
I don't know.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This week was read Jamaica Day, where many went to the schools in their constituencies and read to the children. So when the speaker was reading her story, she was talking about eating, and she said, yes, I know someone who eats a lot, you know, to the children. So right there, it tells us that she's upset with him for going on Shaka Fame program and got dismantled. So I think he's in bad shape, right? He's wounded, man. Y'all wounded him.
well, you know what it is. You know, when someone's wounded, he just finish them off, and that's what we plan to do because we think that the prime minister made a grave error in putting a second Morgan in charge of this PR machine. The first Morgan wasn't too bad, but wasn't too good either, considering that he has extensive experience in the PR world. And then this gentleman who's now saying that he has 15 years, I think it's more like 15 days. He has threatened to sue my dear friend Jeffrey Tavares and my dear friend Conrad O'Brien. And I challenged him. I challenged him on the Mystics program. I'm challenging him again tonight. Editor, Senator Morgan, if the clothes that you're wearing, they weren't borrowed, sir, if them are field clothes, sue Jeffrey Tavares. We give you 1 week for suing. Yeah, because you talked about the suing last week. Sue him. Sue him. Why you sue him? Now beg you, sue Jeffrey Tavares because you come and you lava your mouth and make up a whole heap nice and say you're going, you know, the legal process and this and that if they don't apologize to you. And I can tell you as I sit here, sir, that I know this Jeffrey Tavares, I know this Conrad O'Brien, and they are not, I repeat, N-O-T, not going to apologize to you. So now you're out there, they might call you bluff. They say, in fact, I think Conrad O'Brien said if him live to be 50,000 years, you will never get an apology from him. So I need you now, sir, to go ahead and follow through with your thing. Sue them because you besmirched my reputation, you know, because it's been published. You didn't publish it to me, but I published it. It's all over the place where you called me an antagonist and you said that I was trying to bring down the government. And I'm sure if you're writing that to me, I'm sure it's been said in other quarters. But I haven't mentioned anything about a lawsuit to you. I haven't. So now you come out and you say all of these things, and it's not right. And you need to take it back. You need to apologize to Jeffrey Tavares and Mr. Conrad O'Brien. You need to apologize to them, sir. And I know you're in hot water because you should have, as Pastor Ricky said, you should have never been on that program. What? If you were a smart person, the moment you heard my voice, you would have said to Shaka, out of respect, you would have said, you wouldn't have just, you know, just take for yourself. You would have said, Colin, listen, I came on thinking that you and I would have a conversation regarding certain issues, but I see where other people are here, and so I'd like to come back another time. And you gracefully excuse yourself. Nobody can fault you for that. And the Prime Minister would have tapped you on the shoulder and said, good move. But you come on and you make a colossal fool of yourself. first of all, you indicate that the Prime Minister guilty of violating KCMC rules. You said it because you said, later on you said it, you come on and said, no one is disputing that at the time of the construction, the Prime Minister wasn't a shareholder in Estate Bridge. That in and of itself right there is saying, Prime Minister, you're guilty, because the critical period is not when the investigation started, but when the violation was committed. And the violation was committed within that 1.5 year period that the Prime Minister still had shares in Estate Bridge while the construction was going on. So the Prime Minister cannot be happy with you. His wife cannot be happy with you. Members of the party cannot be happy with you. And your supporters, they cannot be happy with you because you think you're the smartest one in the room. And so we'll allow you to come in and you never even know, sir, be it for be it you. We give you an open-ended question. We ask you, tell us 2 things that the government do wrong. And you jump out and say, oh, them shouldn't buy the used car. And that causes problems because I've spoken to politicians close to the issue and them say, where you go say that for? Where you go say that for? You have no business out here. Because not telling you about your job, Mr. Morgan, but your job is never ever to criticize the government or bring unwanted attention to the Prime Minister. And that's what you did. That's what you did. So now you say that you edit the manifesto. We're not sure which one because you haven't told me. So this one I'm going to show now is 2016. And I'm going to show it for 2 reasons. I'm going to show it because you're the spokesperson. So I'm not going to attribute anything to you as an editor. Maybe the 2021 because it's more recent. But this 2016 one, you are the spokesperson. You can talk about this or you can go find the answers and come back and tell us. And I'm also going to show this manifesto because remember what the young lady said. She said, you know what? You know what? Paraphrase. Or say something she don't say. Here are your people.
We can't go back to policies. And when we tell you that we're going to do something for you, you can bet on us to implement it because we not tell you anything and then say we never intend to implement it.
Now, this lady she's not playing. Let me rephrase it. I want to be kind to her. This lady is a square peg in a round hole in the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. Remember, this lady was the Attorney General of Jamaica. And then they moved her and they created a position for her, created a job for her. Let's go to the manifesto. And Mr. Editor, Senator Morgan, I hope you're watching. Because if you're not watching, you're going to be surprised because your friends are watching and they're going to come and say, you know, Sir Rattigan and Marvin and Pastor Ricky, them say them things about you. And you're going to have to go watch the program because guess what? You're going to get a phone call. So what kind of idiotic thing, what drove you to go make a statement like that about you edit manifesto? And now everything now they're pushing onto you. Go ahead, Pastor Ricky, before I put it up.
Yeah, you know what she said, the first 2 words out of her statement is true, you know. She said she's standing before their supporters and she's talking about her party. And she's another, let me behave myself. But she said, we cannot go back to policies. Listen to, play it again. We cannot go back to policies, meaning that they don't have no policy to go back to because for 9 years, they have not done anything to improve the lives of the Jamaican people. So now they're acting for another term, but they can't go back to policies. So what are they going to go back to now? Listen to what she said.
We can't go back to policies. And when we tell you that we're going to do something for you, you can bet on us to implement it because we not tell you anything and then say we never intend to implement it.
Make we say if you never intend to implement them 1 year. All right? Here we go, folks. We show it before, we're going to show it again for different reasons. Because we are living at the manifesto, because the manifesto is the manifesto in 2016. That's their promise to the Jamaican people. They came and they said to all of us, them said the PNP are ruled for so long and the PNPs are disgraced, them are mash up the country. We need a chance. And the people responded favorably. The people said, yes, we like the things and we all say we like the things in the manifesto, blah, blah, blah. So here we go. Message from the leader. All right. I don't know how I feel about where I started out earlier about dear friends and colleagues. If you lead, you say, my people, that's how you started out, you know. Address the people and make them know who you are. But when you say friends and colleagues, that sounds like a classmate. So, all right, here we go. I want to take a look at this thing here. You see what I'm saying? Him say, Ministry of Economic Development, blah, blah, blah. They will deliver stuff next 5 years, right? Okay, here it is. He said, I read it for you, in case you can't see it. He said, the Jamaica Labour Party is very clear in its focus and deliver objectives for the next 5 years. This is 2016. This is 2016. He said, in my campaign on himself, for the next 5 years, we're very clear. These things we're going to give to you. Remember what you say now? When I make promises, we're not fulfill. When we give you something, when we do something for you, we do it. All right. Now, I want to show you, let me start with on page 11. Page 15. I'm going to show you something. Here we go. What page is this? 11. Bear with me, people. Stay with me. 13. 15. All right. Now, this is page 15. Now, you see this one page, huh? You see this one page, you know, this document is over 50 pages. One page, and it's full of promises. Here, people talk about the 100-day promises. I want to show you something now. One page, I want to show you how many things them promise and them not deliver. Right? Now, let's go to right here. Let's start with this one here. See that? See that? The JLPs have the view that there needs to be a reduction in the number of ministries. You know what reduction mean? You know what reduction mean, people? Cut. Right? Cut. It's there. Decrease in number, right? He said there needs to be a reduction in the number of ministries and a more appropriate allocation of responsibilities if we are to avoid overlapping and cumbersome bureaucracy. This sounds like my editor there. It look like this language that sounds like my editor do it. I can't attribute anything to him, but it sounds like something with that, right? And they said we will establish in the Constitution a core of ministries of government with a number with a limit on the number of additional ministries that can be created. I ask you something now, people. Look at the second one. We will establish in the Constitution a core of ministries of government. Has that done? Has that taken place? Let's ask you. And you see when the topic lean of government operations, you must say we have to cut the fat out of government. We have to deal with it. But look at it. So we know the first one, the second one not happen, right? Them not establish nothing. I remember now, them just do with the Constitution reformation. Them just turn that in, and we don't know if that's all going. Well, not gonna work. We're gonna show you why it's not going to work. But forget about the second paragraph. Focus on the first one. The JLPs have the view that there needs to be a reduction in the number of ministries, right? This is 2016. 2016. Look at this. What page number was it on? 11. All right. Look on this. No. Remember now, you know. Remember what I'm saying. Remember what I'm saying on page 15. We believe in reducing government. And then we have a 10-point plan. And they said the 10-point plan is our recipe for success. People, look at this. Look at the very first sentence.
Armed government.
No, establish a ministry. That means to create one. Create one.
No. Page, this paper page is this. This a page. This a page one actually, because this is after him statement, you know. And this is the first plan. This is the first of the 10-point plan, you know. Him said we have established a brand new ministry. And then page 15, him said, we believe that we shouldn't have no increase in ministry. Right? And then what them do? Them go and create this ministry, economic growth and job creation. They went ahead and did it. And ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Is this a viable ministry? How is this ministry? Anybody tell me how the ministry of economic growth? Wait, not the same ministry this we did have the 5 and 4. Not the same ministry this. The same 5 and 4 were flop. And it's still around. This, people, is just an idea of where we are talking about. Now, make we go to page 15. But we're leaving at page 15 today. Actually, you know, we could have go back and look on the other things, you know, but make we go to page 15. Make we go to page 15. These are the things what I'm doing now. Promise you, what she said, when we are going to do something for you, we do it, and, you know, we're not no whole argument about this and that. We do our thing. That's how we do it. Right? Hold on there. All right, 11. We have a look on 15. 13. 15. Okay. All right. Just pretend this is a class, you know. We have to go through this thing step by step. Because when we finish tonight, and we have a stay up on page 15. When we finish tonight, you know, we can talk to any government official, any JLP supporter. We can talk to them about the manifesto, the grand promise, the social contract between government and people. All right? Look at the first one right there, son. See that? Corruption impedes economic growth, undermines the rule of law, and tears down the fabric of society. That is true. Look at the next sentence. The Jamaica Labour Party is committed to transforming our society by 2030 and believes fundamentally that this can only be achieved if the rights of the citizens are guaranteed and what? And corruption tackled in an uncompromising manner. Now, I want you to tell me if the Prime Minister is addressing corruption in an uncompromising manner. I want you to tell me that. This is a promise they made, you know. They made this promise. And so when they make promise, them keep promise. Them are promise keepers. People, when you are JLP, UIC, Up Jamaica, PNP, just now ask one simple question. Do you believe the government is tackling corruption in an uncompromising manner? That's what they promised to do. That's what they promised to do. We know the answer. We know the answer. Make we go down.
Took the IC to court. Strike out corruption. Section 5.
Exactly. 14.5. And here it says, we are committed, third sentence, we are committed to the establishment of internationally acceptable standards of good governance. My goodness gracious. What am I talking about? We simply must bring an end. We simply must bring an end. The incident should bring an end to. I hope I not even edit this thing out because we shall put that to right. So we simply must bring an end to the incidents of institutionalized injustice. Institutionalized injustice, that sounds like extrajudicial killings to me. Abuse of power, that sounds like extrajudicial killings to me. And rampant corruption. Him said, we simply must bring an end. And remember now what I'm saying now. 5 years we had all of this. 5 years we had all of this. All right, let's continue. Under Jamaica Labour Party government, the rights of every, not some, not those who we believe are scammers, are choppers, are killers, or whatever, the rights of every means every, it don't mean some, it means all, the rights of every citizen will be protected. Let me ask you that question now. All of the people when you see them are shoot and kill, you think that all of those, everybody's rights have been protected?
This can be an indictment on him, you know, for the extrajudicial killing.
Yep.
This statement can be an indictment on him.
Look at the next one. Abuse of power will not be tolerated. How can it not be tolerated when you issue threats I tell people you face at Georgia or you face Jamaica? When the Minister of National Security has said, me I pay people for do what them supposed to do. We don't want nobody really. You know, they don't carry them. I think it says something about don't carry them to the hospital or some foolishness.
We have state resources.
Some nonsense. Yeah. Listen to look at the next one, the third one. Officials exercising authority will be held strictly accountable and rigid sanctions will be imposed on persons found guilty of the abuse of power. Too bad that's not happening. Next one, we will operate an efficient and accessible justice and law enforcement system. That's not true. That's not true. There's the one about the government, leaner government operations, that there'll be a reduction in the number of ministries. There's the other one, we will establish in the Constitution a core of ministries of government. So that's that. Let's go over. You think so the page finished, right? No, the page not finished. That's just one side. We could go up. We could go up, you know, and deal with some other things here. Right. There. Okay. See this? The JLP government will introduce automated business processes to reduce bureaucracy, strengthen record keeping, and provide greater accountability. Then, if that is the case, this is 2016. Why is it only now we have the failed ambassador, former ambassador to the US, Audrey Marks? Why is she now in charge of the Jamaican Doge?
Because she get the quote from America.
Yeah, but at 2016, him say I'm gonna do all of them things there, no people. 2016, him say I'm gonna do all of them things, and it's just this year. In my point, or if he said, we want the thing to be efficient and accountability and blah blah. And she poor Ambassador Marks. If she say accountability for a bulla, she don't want to say that word. She say if she say accountability for a bulla, she don't name it, and she name it with cheese though. She don't understand this. Go down some more, man. Look on this one, greater transparency. We, the JLP party, will introduce mandatory disclosure of integrity reports by the Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition, and Minister of Finance. When did they introduce the disclosure that the Minister of Finance was supposed to make an integrity report public? When? Look at the next one. In addition, we will make it mandatory that the appointment to sensitive posts be approved by a 2/3 majority in each House of Parliament, thereby requiring consensus between the government and the opposition. So what I must say is that certain positions, you can be appointed by the Prime Minister upon the recommendation of the, you can be appointed by the Governor General upon recommendation made to the Governor General by the Prime Minister after consulting with the Leader of the Opposition, right? That's how the Constitution sets it up. And here are some of the positions. Chief Justice, guess what happened? The Chief Justice of Jamaica asked yourself the question, is he sitting as a Chief Justice because of the 2/3? No. How about the President of the Court of Appeal? No. How about the DPP? The Motel said the court rule, and that's why they never have to do the 2/3. Look on the public defender, look on all of them. Governor of the Bank of Jamaica, the last time I checked, the Governor of the Bank of Jamaica was, I think, the person in the mix for the Governor of the Bank of Jamaica is the Ministry of Finance. But them promises, so we're going to 2/3 because these positions are sensitive and we need to get consensus, right? So that never happened. Now, here's one that's near and dear. One of them near and dear to me, but here's one that's really near and dear. The JLP is committed to the reform of the process by which persons are appointed to the Senate. We will explore the possibility of including in the Senate 3 independent representatives. Who do I talk about? Civil society and the diaspora. Civil society, greater representation. Now, people, I don't know who did that at the town hall meeting in Queens in 2016, right? September 2016. When you remember when the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith, and I remember when the Prime Minister and others on the podium, remember when them said, "Oh, we're exploring ways so that you guys can vote, and we're doing something so that you can take your rightful place in the Senate." That, ladies and gentlemen, was 2016. That was a promise. Unfulfilled. Like the rest of them, I show you. You don't hear nothing more about it. Nothing more about it. And you know why this is there? You know why? One reason only. That's the reason. Fundraising. Them tell the diaspora this and we jump up and down and say, yes, so what do you come? We are going to get this. And them say, give me our money. Come on and have break bread with me. And it's $2,500 plate for bread. And we're going to give them the money. And then we don't hear nothing more about it. Because you know what? We are all acting like fools. We're comforted by the promises. But those days are over. As I've always said, this diaspora is not like my mother's diaspora, where once government say, I saw. This diaspora is challenging promises made by the government unfulfilled. We're saying, wait a minute, you said you were going to do this. Where are we? Give us a status report. You know what? I'm going to do an ATI tonight, you know. Not the one I asked them about this. I'm going to ask them, say, from 2016, I'm going to put this on the manifesto. Please give us a status report. I'm going to ask them. So, people, I'm going to show you something now. I want you to remember this. Remember this. This one here. For now, we're going to focus a little bit. This one here, the JLPs have the view that there needs to be a reduction in the number of ministries. Remember that. And right in the same document, them say we are going to establish a ministry. Right. Now, here is a ministry that I don't think them telling about. I want to know this ministry at all. Hold on a second. One second. It's right here.
This is a flip-flop government.
Yep. Remember that ministry, huh? This ministry was not around in 2016.
That's true.
This ministry came about in January 2022. Remember what the man said? True. The man said, we have a reduced ministry. No, people, what they will not tell you is that it costs billions to establish this ministry. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. The work of this ministry could have been done by the Attorney General office. Yeah. This lady was the Attorney General. Or it could have been done by the Ministry of Justice. In fact, some of the things that they claim that they're doing now, those things were being done by the office, the Attorney General's office, our chambers, and or the Ministry of Justice.
Yeah.
Right? So them spend all of the money. Oh, wait, hold on a second. They
spend $4.5 million a month for rent with only 30% staff.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on there. I have something here. I don't remember which one the Prime Minister. I don't remember which one of them. Climate change. Is it climate change? Yeah, I think of climate change. You know. Hold on a second. Let me see something here. Let me see this. Hold on.
Part of our policy agenda now is climate change. Part of our agenda is ensuring gender equality and women's rights. I want you to understand that the Jamaica Labour Party is responsible for more women entering representational politics than any other political organization. And it wasn't by accident, it was by a deliberate policy that I instituted. Constitutional reform. We have brought that onto our policy agenda. They've been talking about it for how many years? And the moment I start to do it, all kind of problems. They had how many years to do it, they never touch it. But me go take it all now, and it's bare argument. But we're still getting it done. I don't watch the noise in the market, I watch the results that we produce.
Where? You're watching noise in the market. You're watching the noise in the market, Mr. Prime Minister.
Just come out 2 weeks ago and say it not gonna work again. The consensus.
Exactly. Him say because there's no consensus. But here's the thing, people. I tell you how ill-prepared these people are. Now, if you, first of all, they said no new ministry, we're going to reduce. And in the same document, they said we're going to increase. And then a few years later, 2016, 6 years later, you come with a new one. Now, you would think, because you hear him saying, no, nobody can touch it, and then nobody couldn't do anything with it, and then he went and he did something with it, right? I know people complaining. Now, one of the things that you would do when you're thinking about establishing a ministry for the benefit of the people of Jamaica, not for the benefit of a party member, is that you do your statistics, you do your research, you do your planning. At the very least, you would plan out the organizational structure, right? You plan out, okay, how many people we're going to need. You'd have a clear mission, the mandate, the goals, the objectives. You make sure that is crystal clear, and you would take the appropriate steps to ensure that the place is established and that you have people working there. Now look at this. This is January 27, 2022. This is right after they make the announcement, you know, saying that they're establishing it. Look at the headline. Them not a place. Them don't have any place to operate. No home yet. You come out and you run out and say, yes, we have the ministry and this is our minister, and you don't have a place. You don't have a place. Look at this. And more big up Wayne Robertson, because when we send him ATIs, him respond to me, and him not respond with any malice or any attitude. So Wayne, or Mr. Robinson, Mr. Robertson, Permanent Secretary, big up yourself, sir. Look at what he said. He said he assured the Public Accounts and Appropriations Committee of Parliament that his team had hit the ground running, even though they have not yet found a location to house the newly minted ministry. That makes sense, people?
No.
Tell me if that makes sense. You plan this thing, you know. So you have a budget of feet, you know. But you know, look at this. This is the 893 billion, and they put three them things in that, and they don't have any place to operate. Look at this. The Law Revision Secretariat, which is part of the operations now, formerly housed in the Ministry of Justice, as well as the Legal Reform Unit Office of the Parliamentary Council, transferred to. This is a joke, people. This is a joke. No. Go back and look at the date.
Oh, we're not seeing here again. If you wanted us to see it, we're not seeing what you're looking at.
Oh, sorry, here it is. There's the date, January 27, 2022, right? Now remember, it was in January they made the announcement, and I have it here too. I have the document here. Hold on a second. January 2022, they announced it, right? Now look at this, people. Look at the date, October 2022, the structure is finally approved. So, how were they operating between January and October? There was no structure there. The structure was approved.
Right.
In October. So, how were they? Here it is. Them just get approval for the implementation of its structure. So from January to October, how were they functioning? How?
And were they paying rent for this that they didn't have a space for? That's another ATI you probably have to file.
Yeah, they were. Well, you're right. You're right. Here is it, right? As I should say, and this is January 19, 2022. She's saying why the Prime Minister created this ministry, right? And we could go down and let me go down and show you something further regarding this lady here. You know, the purpose, if you ask people, what was the purpose of establishing this ministry? And most people, they're going to tell you that it's for the Constitution, right? And that's one of the reasons. They also said we want to teach Jamaicans the law, and we want to have a space where we can update the laws. You don't need a ministry for that. You could have taken the people and put them under the Ministry of Justice, or you could have left some of the stuff under the ministry, under the Attorney General's office, right? And deal with it. But they didn't. They created a ministry for this lady. And she's so, if you listen to her, Pastor Ricky, she's so insecure. Because when you listen to her talk, she always say, oh, people say I'm not supposed to be here. You're damn right you're not supposed to be there.
Well, she not troubling in our constituents, so maybe that's not the back of our mind.
Look, people, I'm telling you, when you go through this, and I've read this article, I've read a lot of things about this lady and the ministry, and let me move this and show you something else. She talked about that they sensitize people about the Constitution. Jamaica have almost 3 million people. Look how many people them sensitized on the constitutional laws of Jamaica. 11,400. 11,400 them sensitized.
That number might not be accurate because all their numbers are not accurate.
Yeah, and look at this. This is this month. May 8th. That's 2 days ago. And she says only 11,004 people, and then them come and want to force the Constitution down our throat, right? I have a huge problem. I think I have a video with her. I think it is I have to look and see if. Let me look and see if let me see if is it this? No, that's not it. Hold on 1 second, folks. Let me see if I have a video regarding this lady and her speech. Let me see.
But you know, every time they do a town hall for the CR, it's like 20 people show up. So I don't know how they get 11,000.
They can't get 11,000. I don't have that video here. I know it was sent to. It was sent. Watch here now. I'll show you something. This is a different one. We'll come back to this lady here, but let me show you something again in his speech. Remember, you know, she said, when we promise things, we deliver.
I want to commend Minister Malahoo Ford, who has been given this specific charge to move our nation to the next step, that of becoming a republic.
Hold on a second. It mentioned something about the gender issue, right? Remember him said that the gender issue in a female administration is more women get appointed for the more women get appointed for work than any other administration.
Right.
Hold on a second. Let me just make sure this is it.
Part of our policy agenda now is climate change. Part of our agenda is ensuring gender equality and women's rights. I want you to understand that the Jamaica Labour Party is responsible for more women entering representational politics than any other political organization. And it wasn't by accident, it was by a deliberate policy that I instituted.
It wasn't by accident, it was by a deliberate policy that I instituted. I'm wondering if this is the policy that he's talking about. I'm just wondering if this is the policy he's talking about. National Policy for Gender Equality, 2011. We talked about this before. And we have the foreword. There it is right at the bottom, March 2011. And there it is, we have the Honorable Babsy Grange. Big up yourself, Minister. Right? And remember I'm saying, is a policy input out. Now input out another policy. Put out another policy. This policy came out in 2011. They lost the election December 2011. They came back to power February 2016. And the Prime Minister's office, they play a central role in the gender affairs. And the way it works is that it's not so, it's supposed to be a balance in the workforce. It's not supposed to be tilted in one sex. What does that mean? It means that as best as they can, they have to try to make sure that they have a balance in the number of men, qualified men and women working. You can't have too many women, can't have too many men. That's what, when people hear gender, that some of us would think that, okay, it's all about women. No, it's about women and men. And if you read this thing right here, we went through this before. Say it right here. This is right here. Over the years, in keeping with this result, several measures have been undertaken to promote gender balance between women and men. That's the whole thrust of this policy, right? Now, here's what the policy says. The policy says that there are certain things that you're supposed to do. We went over this already. Hope I can find it back. I think I went too far. But essentially, it says that there are 3 things that you must do. Oh, here they are. Here are the 3 things that they must do. Here it is. I'll read it for you. 3 things. You must collect sex disaggregated data related to your operations. 2, you must allocate budget resources. And 3, you must appoint someone to provide leadership. At the very minimum, they said, these are the things that you must do. Now, I send this to the Prime Minister's office because I'm having discussions, some serious discussions with them. Come I negotiate on behalf of the Jamaican people. I negotiate hard, you know, April 2025. See all of the things and I asked them. I said, Mr. Prime Minister, will not do them things, yeah? And then I went back because them come back with some fancy footwork, and I asked if because I sent it to the entire government, if it's for them or it's for them to find out from other ministries, agencies, and departments. So then get me all riled up me give them some more things to do. Give them some more. So them answer me, no answer, them have 3 documents. Now look at this. Them say them have a focal point, right? Them have somebody who's leading the charge. Them say them have the 6 disaggregated data. And when it comes to the budget, remember today we start out with the South Africans and I ask about money. When I asked them about the budget, them couldn't tell me. You know what them tell me? Them say I must go to OPM Human Resources Development and Management Division. Now keep in mind, you know, all this under the office of the Prime Minister, you know, all this under OPM. So them tell me, say, and look what them say, there is no distinct line item dedicated solely to gender activities. But they must spend money. They must spend money, people. Minister Grange's ministry spend money too. They rent out Pegasus. A big function every March. They must spend money and them don't want account for all the money I spent. And that's why I'm telling us the poor people who don't have to get interested because when they might say, well, gender stuff it have nothing to do with us. Indeed it does, because the money we could have used to spend for something else to help you, your community, Jamaica, it has spent for this. And we don't have any accountability. So instead of them telling me, they might tell me, say, me must go to another agency within the office of the Prime Minister. And then I saw the access to information law. That's not how it's written. The way it's written is that it says, if I send something to you, if I send a request to you, and you are not that entity to respond, you're not the appropriate entity, then you are compelled under the law to send my request to the appropriate entity and notify me. No, this is not, they're not sending this to another area outside the office of the Prime Minister. This is inside the office of the Prime Minister. Them don't want to tell me. You know why them don't want to tell me? Because they don't want to talk about how them spend the money. So they must say, we don't have any line item, blah, 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 blah. Let me show you something else. Me and them in a big fight, right, or so? So, I tell her, say, under Section 8, them supposed to give me the information. I'm not supposed to go anywhere else and ask for it. So that is what this letter is about. A big fight me and them have, See them write me again and say, Section 8 doesn't apply, right? Them say, consequently, OPM is unable to provide access to such a document. Document meaning the spending document. Won't spend the money. Them say, we can't tell you. We can't tell you. But we're supporting the effort. I said, then how you support the effort? Tell me how you're supporting the effort. See it right there, right there, so. See it there. So last time, right there, so. Consequently, the OPM is unable to provide access to such a document as it does not exist. Money, when them supposed to put up for spending, money I spend, document that exists. But look at the next paragraph. Please know that gender mainstreaming activities are supported through the division's overall budget. I'm gonna say, well, tell me, give me how the money spent, because you're not something I use the money. How the money spent? They don't want to tell. They don't want to respond. No, see what them give me now? Them give me the sex, the sex disaggregated data now, 2021. Them give that to me, right? So them terms of reference, I want them give me now. And open up, can see it, See it right there, so. See it here? March 2011, Cabinet approved the national policy. And it goes on to talk about the role played by the Prime Minister. Here it is. The GC will be responsible. The Gender Committee will be, look at it right here, title. Look at the title. See what it says right here? The name of the committee shall be the Office of the Cabinet, Office of the Prime Minister, Gender Committee. Prime Minister's office involved. And see the purpose of it below? It says coordinating gender mainstream initiatives across the office of the cabinet and the office of who? The Prime Minister. Right? So we could go down a little bit further. I want to say something else. See when it approved? You see when it approved? September 2021. Remember now, this thing passed 2011. And at 2021 now, them start put this thing in place. But them a key part every year. Hold on there. Focal points. Focal points is the person in every ministry who's leading the charge on this. And they said focal points will be responsible for chairing the meetings. Right? So every ministry have to have a focal point. All right. Let me see what else there. There's a reason why I'm not showing this. Okay, look here now. This is our agenda. This is our 4. All right. This is the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. Same question posed to them. Who's the focal point? Where's your budget? Where is the program? Please be advised that the ministry does not have a gender focal point and therefore cannot provide the information requested. So how do I have meeting then if we don't have a focal point? The policy says every ministry must have a focal point person. All of the people get together and have the meeting, right? No, them just say we don't have a focal point and we have no documents to give you. So them are tell me say them not have no budget, them not have no program, them not have anyone. That is the ministry. The ministry will just talk about legal and constitutional affairs. And them get like look on the excuse of them give. Now wait there. See it right or so. Look below the green, paragraph below the green. The ministry is still in its early stages and has not yet established all the necessary positions and structures. Now, if there's one ministry who should be prepared, it's the brand new ministry because they have plenty of time for plan. But them still, but like Pastor Ricky said, at one last year, they had 30% of the staffing they're supposed to have. 30. This year, them claims that they have 70%. No believe them. No believe them.
No.
The ministry is still in its early stages. That one ministry. Look on this ministry, I know. Here's another one, you know. Here's another one. Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce. We have a whole heap of them, you know. I'm going to show you on the two. Look on this one, you know. In there last week, Friday. I went yesterday. Him have breakfast in a think of Queens. Senator Arben Hill, who's in charge of this ministry. Let me just talk a little bit about this man here. He's in charge of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, right? Now, him come yesterday now at breakfast and I tell people say Jamaica is poised for this and Jamaica, the economy is doing great and people must come and invest in Jamaica and blah, 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 blah. I have a question to ask him. Why is it that in 2022, 2023, 2024, Senator Arben Hill took Jamaican investors to Guyana to invest in Guyana? Why didn't he have them invest in Jamaica? That's the question I want to ask you. Why? And then you come out and run out with a whole bunch of nonsense where you want people to come invest in Jamaica. Yet you take the Jamaican investors and carry them to Guyana to invest. Now, look at the green. It says right here, this ministry does not have a gender focal point. And you see them collude, you know, look on the language. However, gender mainstreaming efforts are ongoing. And the same thing the other one did say, you know, same thing, minister. Same thing, them talk and say, boy, Rattigan and kill we, you know, we have to come up with some language. And we have to make sure it's the language match. We can't go tell him something else different from what we're not telling him. But see that, some people, they must spend money, them not have no program, them not have no personal lead the charge. So how does that work? How does that work? Let me move this down here because I have something I want to go public with. Hold on there. Oh, this is the thing there. All right. Hold on a second there. I don't have parts. Okay.
While you're finding that, you know what? I just thought about it. They went to Guyana to do investment, but not Jamaica, because the Prime Minister is building a lot of real estate houses that he's marketing, because he came to Florida and then tell everybody must come to Jamaica and invest in real estate. He went to New York in September last year and he said the same thing, come to Jamaica and invest in real estate. So now that the homes are ready for sale, now they want everybody to come in Jamaica and invest in real estate.
Mm-hmm. Let me show you something else here. Hold on. There's one other thing here I want to show you before I move on. There's a letter. Okay. Remember now, this thing was 2011. And the Prime Minister's office is central to all of this. So maybe we said they couldn't do it 2011. even though they came out with the policy because they lost the election. Well, 2016 is a good starting point. And remember now, the Prime Minister said, me started based on my policy. Look at this letter and tell me what date you say. What date you gonna say?
November
16, 2021. That is when them selected their focal point person. There it is. Dear Miss McKenna, I'm pleased to inform that you are selected as a gender focal point representative for the office of the Prime Minister. Look on the date, people.
Wow.
Remember, you know, they must 2021, you know.
Wow.
And you hear my show off. Hear my show off, so him bring the policy into effect. The policy was in effect from 2011. And at 2021, they decide to name somebody. You can't make this up, people.
Wow.
You cannot make this up. You simply...
I have kept quiet for a bit. You see, people like you is what the country needs, but you also need citizens that are educated to understand this reasoning and then take that reasoning to the ballot boxes. But that's not going to happen because the majority of the brain has left the Jamaican shores. And we are left with a bunch of people who are not going to be doing this critical thinking stuff. They're not going to do that. They just want to hear about bread and cheese. They want to hear how much money them go and get and which backhoe is coming to dig up the roadside near them for somebody to hold up a flag and them get from $5 grand for the day and them government just give them a meal, a night's meal. I was passing through the community of Milk River, heading down to the school called Garvey Masio, which was put there by the Cubans just Thursday. I think Thursday was Teachers' Day. I would love for some of you to pass through and just see the kind of houses that are next to the school along that. When I tell you of a community, and it's not just one community, that's just one of the many. When you look at the citizens, when you look at what is constructed to be a house, I cannot call it a house, because that not look like a house. I don't know what the people are living in. The school that I went to, and I can now put it on air, I went there to talk about the mold that is there. People who don't understand the mold, level 3 mold can lead to death, cancer, bleeding lungs. I'm going to get back to you right again. I want to tie it in. When you look at the school, for me, there was more mold than paint. I have the video of it. I make sure I took video evidence of it. And I haven't released it. And when I think it's not just one school, it's many institutions. Because Jamaicans don't know nothing about mold. We just say mold and just, yeah, a mold. And we gone about right there. We don't understand how deadly it is. When I thought about the students who comes to an institution, a government institution, sits there doing exams with a school. Will, I'm going to send you the video that I have, so you can break it down and you can do your thing, because I want you to see it. I don't want people to think we're making up stuff. I'm gonna take pictures of the communities. We're not gonna see them and the latrine toilets. And when you look at the devastation, degradation, when you just look at poverty crying at you, and people are ready to put back these people in office. And I'm not here to support PMP or JLP, because the both of them, I have experienced both. I have experienced both. But for what I am seeing in with this administration, because PMP get for them beaten already, and that's why they lost the election. That's why Jamaicans voted for Andrew Holness, because he told us he would fix what they messed up. You told us you'd fix it, not make it worse to the tune of $3 trillion unaccounted for, to the tune where you are writing to the judge to strike out things that should hold you people accountable. And the Jamaican people, CTAC, MOCA, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force is busy unaliving the citizens of Jamaica, terrorizing citizens, and failing miserably to hold politicians accountable. You can steal Integrity Commission, have the proof, the facts that you have stolen the country's money. The Attorney General have it, and still nobody goes to prison. So what we are doing over here is a joke, Rattigan. It's a joke. Joke, Papa. Joke. When I look at your hard effort of how you try to show these people, look at how you've been misguided, you've been misled, you've been lied to, you've been stolen from, and nothing. People will still type in the chat right now, me still a vote Labour right. They will still do it right now. Sick set of people, sick.
But here's the thing, Marvin. If we decide that this is an effort in futility, we're doomed for failure. And that's why I keep trying, because if we can get one person to buy into it, and that person can talk to another person, and can talk to another person, and you get a snowball effect. That's what we hope for, you know. But we can't give up. We don't discount ourselves from it. We just don't do it. No, the thing about the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs and the constitutional reform, we wanted to get into it, but the time won't permit us because we only have 17 minutes. But let me just do a quick segue, because I know Pastor Ricky, this is one of theme subjects, and I know if I didn't do, actually, you know what? How about this, people? I don't know how many of you know about this. Let me show this.
Speaking with Radio Jamaica News after the meeting, Mr. Scott explained that coliform is a microorganism that indicates contamination.
It indicates that there is the presence of dead and decaying plant or animal matter. So it could either be one or the other, or it could be both. And so once the indicator organism is present, the samples are also tested for the presence of fecal coliform. That is to confirm that the coliform is from fecal matter. And for the supplies indicated, they were not in compliance for both fecal and total coliform.
Mr. Scott says the department routinely monitors recreational water bodies, including beaches and rivers, as well as those that are sources of drinking water. He pointed out that samples are collected for testing at the mouth of the river just before it empties into the sea. Therefore, the department is unable to speak to the quality of the water at all stages of the Duns and White Rivers. He says further analysis is required to determine what has caused all three sources to fail the recreational water standards, but the issues have implications for public health, though not as serious as would have been the case for drinking water.
But as a recreational water, the quality is important to the health and safety of the users. And so it has public health implications. And that is why we are reporting and suggesting that the matter be looked at on a wider scale to arrive at a possible resolution of the issues.
Chief Public Health Inspector for St. Anne, Leroy Scott. He told yesterday's meeting of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation that the health department has no evidence of people collecting water from Duns River for drinking. Lorraine Walker, Radio Jamaica News.
You must appreciate the fact that if there's rain, there's usually runoff from chicken coop and pig pens. So we have to ensure that that is controlled. And of course, just normal runoff from mud and so on through the rivers into the sea. And I believe that that is the reason why we have a higher than normal level. Once it settles down, then usually everything is back to normal. And we've been having a lot of rain recently. So we're getting the meetings together with the UDC, with the Health Department and Municipal Corporation to ensure that we do whatever is necessary to alleviate this type of runoff and deal with this situation. Because, you know, it's a tourism area, and of course our locals bathe in this area. Also, people come from all over Jamaica and bathe in this area. So it's something that we have to look into expeditiously.
All right. Now, why do I put that up? You know, we talk about water, and we talk about, we had asked the editor about the desalination plants, and he just completely lost in space. Couldn't really answer the question about Moses Lake and the desalination plant inland. What we have around here, Marvin, is we have a group of dedicated, talented analysts, people who them see an issue and them go and them research the issue and they provide us with a report. Now, this particular one, the Duns River thing, you hear what the government official said. Him said it was a mud runoff from Pigpen and Chicken Cove due to the rainfall, right? I'm going to read you now. I'm going to read to all of you what our researcher, our analyst said about this thing. And this person looked deeply into that matter. Person said the environmental issues go far beyond natural runoff. This environmental degradation is occurring due to a combination of poorly treated sewage systems, inadequately maintained drains, mining activities, and insufficient waste management. The real problem lies in the government's failure to upgrade or develop the basic infrastructure. You hear them talk about infrastructure? They're failing at it to support rapid development and expansion. Because what happens is that people are building, but they're not building out infrastructure. Buildings are going up, but they're not doing anything to upgrade and expand the sewer system, water, purification. Nothing like that. Nothing like that is going on in a large scale to support the areas that these buildings are going up in. It says, without proper environmental safeguards, these developments increase the risk of pollution in nearby rivers and beaches, including Duns River, by contributing to runoff, sewage discharge, and ecological stress. Over the past 2 years, several major projects have been approved or launched in the area, including, listen to the projects in that area, Duns River area. Secrets Resort in Richmond, St. Anne. Bahia Principe expansion in Runaway Bay. Salt Harbor by Proven Properties. Bahari at Runaway Bay. Mahogany Hill in Chester. Azure in Discovery Bay. Draxall Development. Hideaway at Royalton Blue Waters. And Sandals, Duns River and Ocho-Rios. This is why we have all of these problems. Fecal matter in the water. I don't know what that means, people. What does that mean? Fecal matter.
Yeah, feces.
That will come from behind. And that. So we're a mess. Let me just quickly jump to, we have 11 minutes. Let me just quickly jump to a topic where we know my virgin Pastor Ricky want to jump on. No, remember we said that them come out and say the murder rate is down. As I sit here, I can tell you unequivocally and without any hesitation that it's a lie.
That's right.
And it's a lie that's been going on for quite some time.
Yep.
That's been going on for quite some time. Here's what happened, people. Remember when the editor showed up on Portland Spice? I asked him, are you aware of a pool of dead bodies in a category called death investigation? And he pretended as if he knew. Pretended. And then when I asked him, I think I'd ask him how many, what's the number? How many people involved in that? I remember I told you that him no know. Him no know. Poor thing. Him no know. One of the team just buy him on him, just buy him on him or something like that, and said, you know, be calm, take it easy, because your ramp would have to set up people who are way above your league. Just tell him that. And tell him, and if he resists, I say, no. Tell him, say, come around here then. Come answer the questions. Tell him, come around here, man. Any Saturday. We welcome him. Because here's what happened, people, and I want to know, I'm not going to show you the thing right now. And Pastor Rick and I, we discuss it, right? Not going to show you the numbers. The one thing I can tell you is that they lied to us, and they've been lying to us about it. Because I'm going to give you some categories now. Give you some categories. And some of you have never heard of these categories. And guess who in these categories? Dead bodies that are not counted in murder statistics. Dead bodies that are not counted. One, in death investigation, we have category called body found. You know what that means? Another one called decomposed body found. Skeletal remains found. These are all categories, you know. Everything I just mentioned to you, they have dead people in these categories, you know. That they're not, this is not added to the murder rate, you know. So if them find a skeleton and it look like somebody chop off the man's neck, them say, well, a skeleton remains, so, you know, that can't go in on the murder thing. There's another one called, remember now, open up, keep track, you know. Death investigation is one category. And remember, I told you that there are hundreds of people in this category. Hundreds. There's another category called undetermined death. Undetermined death. We don't know the person there. And they have a subcategory for that, and it's called inconclusive. And then there's another category that's going to shock you. It says unknown. Unknown. So we have death investigation, we have undetermined death. Then we have one called death by self-defense. We have another one called suicide. We never knew if all of them things are suicide, because remember the man who fly off a spur trail, and when he realized he's not dead, he come out and fly going on one tree and go hang himself, right? And we're supposed to believe that's suicide. Here's another one. There's another one called non-crime, where them say sudden death. There's another one called death by misadventure. Accidental shooting. We don't know if it's really accidental, but somebody shoot somebody and say accidental. But person dead. Somebody dead. We have one called poison food. Where they put the people who dead from poison. So if you poison a man, that's not going to murder, you know. That's going to poison food. That not get counted. then they have another one, yeah. Manslaughter. Manslaughter not get counted as murder, you know. It have its own category. Right? And how do you determine manslaughter? Manslaughter is not determined by the police, it's determined by the DPP. Right? So how many categories have I given you? They give death investigation, undetermined death, suicide, non-crime, death by misadventure, manslaughter, 6. And there's a 7th. And you know what the 7th is? Tell them, Pastor Ricky.
Missing people, big category that.
Big category. Yeah.
Missing people.
Yeah.
Now, what we're telling you, none of them numbers there. None of them go in a murder. None of the numbers that we just are telling them. And that number for 2024, and the numbers wrong too. 2024, if you add up all of them and the numbers are wrong, it's over 1,600 murders. But they want to report 1,100. They want to report 1,100.
And this is the problem with Officer Rattigan with them, because if them put out a bogus number and then now compare this year to the bogus number last year, and it's not the real number from last year, then how can they derive that crime is down? And furthermore, them now use how much people die, you know, them might give a percentage. So to show off. So you see that the generalship and the deceitfulness of how this government is, because there is nowhere, after we look and crunch all of these numbers, them are going to say
1,146. 1,146. Yeah.
Way more than that. But then them are compare this year with last year. I say crime is down 38%. Foolishness.
Don't let them fool you. I am hoping people that next week I can put up the numbers and put up the report and show them. I'm hoping. There are some impediments to doing it right now. That's why I can only give you the categories. But how many of you knew that there are 7 categories where they put dead bodies in, where them don't count them bodies that towards murder? How many of you knew that? And that is what I was telling the editor a couple weeks ago. And I wish the editor would come around here and challenge me. I wish the editor would come. Go ahead, Pastor Ricky.
No, I'm afraid because the speaker draw him up now and the Prime Minister vexed him for compound Shaka Bell show. So when they're not gonna see me now, while I'm in the wilderness now.
No, because they come around and they talk up in mouth and things like that. And when we look at these categories, I want to say, well, wait a minute, hold on a second. 7 categories, I know about 4 or 5 of them. But when I look now and I see them have something like death by misadventure, and we have poison food in it. So if you poison a man, that no count. That no count as murder. That no count as murder. Them say no. That's death by misadventure.
Wait, one last point. You know what? Secretary Rubio was in Jamaica March 27th. And at the press conference, if we all recall, the Prime Minister said we have numbers to help to, justify why the travel advisory should be reduced to 2. So Secretary Rubio said, all right, we will visit the travel advisory and review the new numbers where you give it. And 12 days later, April the 8th, it's online. You can Google the State Department. 12 days later, April 8th, 2025, 12 days after I leave Jamaica and review the number, America decided they're not lifting the travel advisory. They're going to keep it at 11.3. Why? The new update says because crime is high in Jamaica, extremely high. Healthcare is deplorable, and they're recommending to all United States citizens to reconsider traveling to Jamaica. 12 days after him said, I'm going to review the travel advice. So if America can say, no, crime is not down. Me believe what America said over with this Prime Minister.
Yeah, because look, the report me I look on right now, I'm sure they must see the same report they must see. I'm sure they must see this report. Right. And when they look on it, them say, no man, them man cook the books. These guys are not being honest with the numbers.
Right.
The numbers them not add up. 7 categories. People, just think about this. 7 categories where you push dead bodies into, and you say, we're not counting these as murders.
Yeah.
We're not counting these as murders. We don't know what they are, but we're not counting them as murders. And that missing person one, that's a huge category.
Big.
Huge category. Hundreds of people in that. The death investigation, another hundreds of people. And we're going back. So listen, we're almost out of time now. Marvin, I want to thank you for coming on, sharing whatever you shared with us regarding cryptocurrency. And I look forward to having you again because we went out about this politics thing in Up Jamaica. And of course, Pastor Ricky, thanks for hanging out with us, my brother. Much appreciated. Thanks for the contribution. And we don't know the thing going on, people. Oh, we're not playing the music tonight, no, because we're talking enough for the whole day already. So Kevin, well, yeah, I just use up Kevin time. I'm not gonna be on. So Reggae Global Radio will just drop a playlist. But we'll see you Tuesday night for Mystic. Because we have some things. Hopefully we'll get the categories them done with the numbers them. So we'll be able to provide that to all of you. Anyway, big up on yourself and remember, open your eyes and speak for yourself. Open your eyes and speak for yourself.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody in the chat. All right, blessings.